It was just a matter of time before I was found out. The apple may not have fallen far from the tree, but I was certainly no lawyer. A name, I had to give her a name, or the jig was up, something she could hang her hat on. It's Vice, Vice, baby. It's Vice, Vice, baby.
Good morning, good afternoon, what did I say? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Wow, it's been, I'm forgetting my intro every day, jeez. Welcome, everybody. Happy Saturday. I just got back from work, what, 12, 1, 2, like, I don't know, almost 2 hours? Almost 2 hours ago, so, hey, had to do mandatory overtime, so... we haven't done a good old Maritime Monday watch, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And today we have the submarines. Plural, yes. 2 submarines, the Kursk and the Jefford, or however you say the name. But before you start, let us say hello to people. D. Watt, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Angela Halo, how are you doing? Have I seen you before? I don't know if I have. Maybe I did. My memory is horrible. Good to see ya. Alicia G, how are you doing? I'm doing good, D-Walt. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? And Denise, good afternoon. Happy to see you all members of Vice Squad on the live stream without technical issues on my side today. Hey, because you said that I might have technical issues. We shall see. Snipe Hunter 2, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Under the Sea with Little Mermaid. Yeah. Uncle Buck, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. And let me put up this real quick. Beep, beep. If I can remember my stuff. There you go. Give me your money. Not required, but very greatly appreciated. And before we start our little watch party again, please hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate it very, very much. And if you already subscribed, please double check to make sure you are still subscribed, because YouTube can unsubscribe you. Hey, I don't know. YouTube just does this thing. Angela Daly, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Dark Lotus, long time, long time. Uncle Bug, I'm so happy for you, Connor. Such a privilege to see you grow on this platform and entertain. Hey, and I'm privileged for every single one of you guys to being here, you know, supporting everything. And yeah, all the members, all the subscribers, all the lurkers, you guys are all greatly appreciated. And Vice Squad, assemble for sure. I have my backup microphone ready to go just in case because last night this microphone I believe stopped picking up because no one answered me when I was talking. So we'll see. Hopefully there's no technical difficulties on my side. Would you bump up your volume just a little bit, pretty please? Sure. And that's the mute button. Wim, how you doing? Good to see you. Do this and I'll raise it up to 0.5. How about that? Hopefully that's a little better. If not, I'll adjust it again. But and I mean, I'm kind of glad that I didn't stream yesterday because I live so close to. Oh, Sweetfly. Oh my gosh, I schemed over you. I'm so sorry. Good to see you. Thanks for thanks for reminding me. God. Blame work. I had to do mentor overtime. Blame my job. I live so close to the fairgrounds here, and last night they did monster truck night, so there were lots of engines revving and all that fun stuff. So I'm kind of glad I didn't stream yesterday because my microphone is so sensitive it'll just pick that up. But beautiful, beautiful people. Let us begin another episode of Maritime Monday. Once again, this is story of two submarines, the Kursk and the Jefford or Gefford or Gaffard, however I say if I can talk. You guys know the drill. I will be working on some stuff. I'm gonna work on some stuff, so Tank the Shark will be worked on someday. Hopefully soon. I'll be working on some stuff over this video. I will mute myself, say hello, good and goodbye, and put in my comments whenever I feel necessary. If the desktop audio is not up to satisfactory level, I will change that. And I was supposed to set up super tips, but I also forgot about that. Oops, I just barely got reminded of that when I hovered over my screen. I saw the empty box. But hey, that'll TBD. There you go. Appreciate it, sweet fly. BGOG, how are you doing? So, without further ado, hopefully you guys are having a good Saturday. Forgot to say that, but hey, I'm having a great Saturday. It's good to stream. Good to stream. Hello, Dad. How are you doing? Yeah. Let us begin. Hey, just a thought. I think it'll be great if the sound wasn't muted. I know. Thanks for reminding me, everyone. See, Denise? Denise, this is what you've done. You said there was no technical issue on your side, so it all went to my side. So, yeah. Stephanie, how are you doing? Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you before. Maybe I have. Maybe, I don't know. But hey, good to see you. And Twisted Puppet, how are you doing? I will restart the video, do you want? I will. You're new? Hey, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Glad you find your way over here. Okay. Let us begin again. Oh, let's not. I forgot to. There you go. Now I turned on the desktop audio. Denise, how dare you? Let us begin. Part 2.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody, wherever you are. Sorry, I was a little bit late. And so you're probably all wondering, why am I showing that mens rea clip, which is normally a trial clip before Maritime Monday? You'd all like to think
It's all good, Denise. It's all good.
I'm boomering out and click the wrong button, wouldn't you? Well, you'd be absolutely 100% completely wrong. Why am I doing that? And why was I late? Because I was setting up a stream 2 hours from now. A new trial starts. I can't say I can't say how much of this I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to give it my best shot to go into trial mode again, which means no sleep for the next 2 weeks. Uh, but what we've got coming up 2 hours from now is the state of Texas versus Juan David Ortiz. He is a border agent that's accused of being a serial killer and killing 4 prostitutes. Well, there we go. 2 minutes in, and I've already demonetized this video. How cool is that? Just kidding, all you YouTubers that are checking this. It has nothing to do with this video. It's coming up later. I was just saying that, so please ignore everything you just heard, all of you, YouTube human reviewer people. Yeah, so there we go. A new trial starts. Exactly. 2 hours from now. But until then, it is Maritime Monday. Exactly. The amateur iconoclast, you can sleep when you are dead. Exactly. And I don't want to be dead. So, hey, great. All right. That's it. What we've got coming up here today on Maritime Monday is 2 stories. We have the story of the submarine Kursk and another little tidbit about a submarine, the Gepard or the Leopard in English. Two Soviet era.
Uno momento, por favor. Hey, Bridget, how are you doing? Oh, yeah, that trial. They literally played him sitting on the interrogation room doing nothing. I remember that trial. Hey, doing nothing is good, right? Sometimes. Boost the volume. Bloop. Okay, I have the video volume at max on the YouTube side, so hopefully that will be a little bit better.
Era submarines. And when I say Soviet era, I mean the Kursk was technically started being built after it was launched after the collapse of the Soviet Union, but the planning and the design and a lot of the construction started during those days, during the right at the end of the Soviet era. So we're going to be talking about those two. I promised you a little something a little less dramatic, but that's the second story. We still have to go through the depressing first story to get to the to get to the second story. But before we get going, hey mods, it's great to see you here. Love to see the mods. And Algebra, welcome to the Clean and Sober crew, our very first member of the day. Thank you so much for joining Clean and Sober crew. All of you here in chat, great to see you. Always love to see you here in chat. Never take you guys for granted, because without you, I have no reason to be here. And those of you that are like just listening in the background as you go about your day, as you go about your work, as you drive around, the truck drivers, when we have truck drivers, factory workers, office workers, people that just have people around the house that just have it on at the background noise. Love all you guys. Couldn't do this without you either. Come back later when you have a little bit of a time and hit that like button, because that's what we're all about. We're all about grifting the likes here. The super chats, not so much, although they are deeply, deeply appreciated and never refused. It's the likes we're after. The likes are what helps us grow. So hit that like button. We got 154 here and only 73 likes. Less than half of you have done your job. We're getting better. It used to be like 2/3 of you didn't do your job, but now only half of you haven't done your job. So get down there, hit that like button. Let's get us up to 150 subscribers, 150 concurrent viewers, and 150 likes before we get started here in the next couple of minutes. That'll help us out a great deal. Let YouTube know we're live. They'll start sending it out and recommending people come and join the channel. That would be a great, great thing for you to do for little old me. And there we are, just like that. We're almost up to 100 likes. Love you guys. And the rule for the super chats is always the same. Super chats are not required. But because you're throwing your hard-earned money to support me and what I'm doing here, I guarantee you I will read your super chats. I will address whatever it is that you send there. They'll be read, they'll be answered, they'll be addressed. And in the meantime, I try to pay as much attention as possible to what's going on in the chat. But I can't guarantee I'll
Appreciate you, Wim. Appreciate you. Thank you.
answer even half of what's going on in the chat, because you guys are awesome. You guys chat so much. And I have half of my fun is watching the chat too. And with that, I think it's time to give us our quick week in preview. I'm going to try to, like I said, starting midnight my time every night, which is 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be doing as much of this Ortiz trial as I can physically do. I doubt I'm going to be able to do the full trial every day. I may have to skip some days. I'm just going to do what I'm physically able to do. If you need more, you'll have to go to whoever. If someone else decides to pick up the stream after I drop it, go to them. If not, you'll just have to kind of work it out yourself. Uh, so with that in mind, that'll be happening every day. But also tomorrow, we're going to be looking at Taylor Business update. She who dismembers and leaves both heads in a bucket at the bottom of the stairs for mom to find. We got a trial update for her, and we're going to be looking at the Idaho murders, the University of Idaho, the 4 murders that took place there. We'll be deep diving those with special guest Meme Copium. He's been covering kind of in depth over the past several days. So we're going to have him here on here to fill in some gaps and to add some additional insight. And Wednesday, we'll be looking at the Colorado LGBTQ shootings and some of the information behind that and where we stand with that case as well. Thursday, as always, is OJ Simpson. We can put Mark Furman in the rearview mirror, or can we? He's not on the stand anymore, but the ghost of Furman continues to appear for at least the next several weeks here on our OJ Simpson Thursday trials. Friday, do not miss Friday.
And Clara, how are you doing? Idaho murder trial coming up soon. Yeah, it is. It is coming up soon. I don't know I don't know how to talk. I don't know the exact date, but yes, I do know it's coming up real soon.
Friday. Do not miss Friday, no matter what you do. That is our monthly F it Friday stream where we grift like a mother. The whole purpose of F it Friday is so I can just do nothing but grift. It's a griftapalooza. It's a boozathon. It's whatever you want to call it. $100 shots. Gets a premium whiskey. I take a shot of premium whiskey to show my support for you supporting me. And then we do aggregates of $100. So $10 chats or $25 chats, whatever. That will be a shot of a lesser whiskey, but still not an unimportant whiskey. And what we've got coming up this Friday is just going to crush my soul. It'll be the most expensive bottle of whiskey I've ever purchased in my entire life because I take 25% of last month's F it Friday earnings and spend that on a bottle of whiskey so you can crush my soul twice. It'll be a 22-year-old. What was I going to do? I have to order it tomorrow. It's a Loch Lomond. It's a 22-year-old Loch Lomond Scotch celebrating the St. Andrews golf course. There's only 4,000 of these bottles on planet Earth, and I'm just going to completely waste one for you degenerates. And so we've got a huge all-star guest cast lined up so far, and more are pouring in. I don't know if you saw the tweets, but so far, who do we have? Let me check my own tweets to see who we've got that's a confirmed visitor this time around. What do we got going here? We have so far. Come on, Jeff, let's do it. I don't want to leave anybody off because that's what I do a lot. I forget names. I don't want to leave anybody off here, so I'm scrolling down to see what we got coming up for the F it Friday stream. So far, Aussie Overlord, he's going to be doing a 24-hour stream at that time. So we're gonna do a little bit of sniping each other's streams. Steph Alter Nerd is going to be here.
Hey, Digger, how you doing? It's Sabbath. Gotta eat and go to a study, but I'll listen to Jeff while I eat. Good to see ya, and happy lurking. Very, very good to see you. And Amy Evans, how are you doing? It's been a while.
Love Steph Alternerd. Joe, good logic. He said he's going to pop in. His first response to me was, thanks for the mass tweet, eat a dick. But it was all in jest. He's coming. Farron will be here from Fair and Balance. Meme Copium said he's going to be here. We've got a very high likelihood of having Danny in here. Danny on. Drek said he's going to try to pop in. Flux will definitely be here one way or the other. Megan Fox Ryder said she's going to pop in at some point. Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet, he said he's going to pop in here and be part of that. So this is going to be an all-star. It's just going to be a fun question. And there's other feelers still out there. So we'll see who else will be joining. But do not miss F it Friday. That's a wild time. We just sit. We read the weirdest law-related stories and law-adjacent stories. We drink. We have fun. And it is guaranteed to go off the rails as it does every month. All right. So with that, it's time to bring it down a little bit. Bring it down to a little more serious post here. As we get going, the first story is about the submarine Kursk, which was at the time the newest and most advanced submarine in the entire post-Soviet Russian military. That's what we're going to be talking about today. First, then we'll kind of lighten the mood a little bit after that. Let's pull up the video. While I'm pulling up the video, the 222 concurrent likes and 222 concurrent viewers and 141 likes. So we still need about another 100 likes to keep that number even, because you guys are awesome and I love you. So hit that like button. And again, the super chats, whatever you guys send, it's guaranteed to get read. All right, bringing up this is why I'm kind of slightly under prepared, was because I was setting up the murder trial stream, but we are there. And this is the first video of the day. It's kind of potato cam, but that ain't me. That's just ancient old footage. Back when video tapes, you see, like the best we're gonna get is 240p, because that's what was uploaded in. Hey, Tank Rat, we missed you. Tank Rat, you better be here Friday, you mofo. We need you here. Well, I need you here. All right. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and do your super chatty thing, and let's run with this.
The crew of the Kursk, seen here earlier this year, preparing to sail on one of the newest nuclear subs in the Russian fleet. They are now entombed as the Navy races to attempt a rescue. However, officials admit there's little hope of saving the men. The Kursk was taking part in a naval exercise in the Arctic waters of the Barents Sea north of Norway when disaster struck. After disappearing from radar, she was found on the seabed in 150 meters of water. Her nuclear reactors were shut down, leaving the crew with just a few days of air.
It's going to be an atmosphere laden with carbon dioxide. People are going to feel very sleepy. It's going to be very cold. There won't be any electricity to power systems.
The Kursk is an Oscar II class sub. Launched in 1994 with 107 crew, she carries 24 cruise missiles, which can be armed with conventional or nuclear warheads. Powered by 2 nuclear reactors, she's large and fast, able to dive to 300 meters. Naval officials were quick to stress there are no nuclear warheads on board and no danger of the reactors leaking. Why she sank was unclear, though one theory suggested she collided with a foreign vessel.
Chance of survival, the key issue there is, did they manage to get the bulkhead door shut?
So, Stephanie, that was terrible. Was this that Russian sub? So this is the Russian sub Kursk, or Kursk, however you pronounce it. Yeah. Hey, Fru. Hopefully Fru. Good to see you. Welcome.
If they didn't, then the submarine would be full of water by now, and this is all academic.
If still alive, the crew could try to escape through missile hatches, but the depth of the icy waters makes that unlikely. It's also suggested they could escape through a safety hatch that rescue subs could latch onto, though it's believed the Russians don't have the expertise. And while the US does, there's some doubt the American submarines are compatible. Defense analysts fear the catastrophe now unfolding could be repeated again and again in a Navy so desperately short of funds, it's unable to properly train its crews or repair and re-equip its fleet. This is just the latest in a long line of troubles to hit the aging Russian Navy. In 1989, another nuclear sub sank not far from the Kursk, killing 42 crew with radiation still seeping from the wreckage. 10 ships are on the scene of this latest disaster. A diving bell has been lowered to supply fuel and air, but no one is raising their hopes. Lane Kelcutt, National 9 News.
So that's where we start this story. There's a Russian submarine 150 meters below the surface of the Arctic waters north of Norway. What's going to happen to these guys? They're alive. They're trying to, they don't know if they're alive or dead. They think they're alive. They hope they're alive, but they don't have their hopes up too high. Now we're going to go into a longer documentary about this. And for those of you listening and not watching, there's going to be a little bit of this. There's going to be a little bit of this that's not too interesting for you because it's in Russian with English subtitles. So,
Denise, I'm old enough. I remember bits and pieces of this story. Wow. That must be interesting. Hey, Island, how you doing? Snipe Hunter. I have nightmares about this type of stuff. Yeah, and like Stephanie said, you got to have a screw loose to be on a sub. Unless like you really signed up for it, like you're in like the military and like you have no choice but to be on a sub. If you're like willing, just as like a little civilian, be like, hey, a sub tour might be fun. Good luck. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Good luck.
So sorry about that. I know I try not to do that to you, but there's not a lot of good documentaries about this that are of a decent length that are in completely in English. So those of you that are watching, get your reading glasses on because there's going to be some subtitles coming at you. And those of you that are just
Hey June, how you doing? Listening from England, and we have a storm starting. Lightning is already here. If it's like going to be a big one, please be careful. Be safe. I will expect a proof of life on my, well, whenever you come onto my next live, whenever it may be. And Christy, how you doing? Good to see you. You have a bigger screw loose if you're a billionaire on a patch together, so I'm trying to see the Titanic. Controlled by a PlayStation 2 controller. Yes. Yes. Very true.
listening as you go along, I'm sorry. And Flux has kicked us off with the super chats. Underprepared? Never. Pants are prison. Yes, I am underprepared and underweared. We are ready to go. It is still so nice and warm here in Korea. So, all right. Moving on into the next part, this documentary about what happened to the Kursk.
Okay, I meant to do this when the video started, but I totally forgot. Let me just move myself up here so I don't block the super chats. There you go.
Russia's pride became Russia's humiliation. The Kursk, the submarine that was supposed to be unsinkable. Until the unthinkable happened.
The only subtitles are Russian subtitles.
It took less than 2 minutes for massive explosions to rip through the Kursk and send it plunging to the seabed.
I can narrate the subtitles. Actually, I thought about doing that, so we'll do that as best we can.
The families, the Russian authorities, the whole world waited for news of survivors. It never came. November 2001.
Sweet Flight, that's an amazing avatar. I love that. We have had a hot, humid weather recently, unusual for England. It was predicted. I think I'm keeping my curtains open tonight, so I watched the light show. Hey, enjoy the light show. I love it. I love it when there's like lightning and thunder. Love it. Made a rule that if the expiration of the condiments in my fridge are in the teens, it has to go. That's a very good rule. Dark Lower Shaded Way to Die. Yeah. And very unfortunate way. Yeah, I don't know. This will be interesting. I always wondered what happened other than them all perishing. Hey, I haven't like pre-watched these videos, any of the Maritime Monday, so it's my first time. I don't think calling water vehicle unsinkable is a good idea. Yeah, it's a bad omen. Love this side by side. Hey, thanks. Sub being unsinkable sounds like oxymoron. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Some people.
In Ryutov, a small town near Moscow, a military funeral for 2 members of the Kursk crew. At this time, similar scenes were taking
Enjoy, Uncle Buck. Hopefully you eat some good.
place in many cities all over Russia.
There you go. We know how it ends.
Once the submarine was raised from the Barents Sea, the families of those who perished in the Kursk could at last bid their loved ones farewell. But their grief was made all the more poignant by the mystery that still surrounded the last moments of the submarine. This funeral was for two of the oldest servicemen on board the Kursk. One of them was the head cook, Senior Warrant Officer Anatoly Belyaev.
Right?
Его так и
say
называли,
on-
душа экипажа.
They used to call him the
Кого
soul
бы
of
ни
the crew. Whenever
спросили,
you
все
asked,
как-то
everyone
о нем
liked him.
отзываются очень так. Говорит, и вот его не стало,
This is one of the Kursk widows.
такого второго
There was no one else
Ведяева
like him at the garrison in Vidovyevo.
отмечали экипажем
We had a
день
picnic with the crew on the celebration day of the submarine.
корабля на природе.
That day
Он
he
нам
told us
такие
something
слова
strange,
сказал
but we didn't pay
какие-то.
particular attention
Тогда
to
нам
it then.
просто мы не обратили на них внимания. Вот сейчас мы
Today, however,
смотрим,
what he said
это
appears in
заново
a
всё
completely
это
different light.
переживаем.
He said, if
Он
something should
сказал,
happen to us one day,
если вдруг с нами что-то случится, то чтобы наши
then our
жены
wives should stick together
общались,
and support one another.
держались вместе.
Ну и давайте выпьем за всех нас, за дружбу. Ну, за народа.
По окончании этого
When the
следствия
inquiries are completed, I want to
нас
know everything.
ознакомят с ним. Вот. Единственная надежда,
This is
все-таки
another Kursk
хотелось бы
widow.
увидеть, узнать вообще, что
This is my only hope
происходило,
of finding out what really happened.
что произошло.
The Kursk was one of the largest submarines in the world.
This class of submarine, they're going to explain a little bit about it, but I mean, they were massive, much larger than anything that the U.S. had in our military at that time.
One of the best guarded weapons in Russia's armed forces. Equipped with cruise missiles, torpedoes, and anti-ship missiles, it could remain undetected beneath the waves for months.
Wow, this is the first time anyone has told me to turn up my microphone before. All right, if need be, I can boost the mic a little bit. I turned it down as usual. So there. Let me know how this sounds. If I'm too loud, then I'll JSDs, I know I didn't make it. I'm reading it. Subtitles are always off, but we're
MQ, yes, with a little bit of people, probably.
getting the idea.
The Kursk was the pride of the Russian fleet.
The Kursk was an attack submarine. This is Viktor Rozhkov, the Kursk captain from 1994 to 1997. At first strike weapon, a nuclear underwater cruiser. The chances of an effective defense against such a weapon are non-existent. Yeah, this is one of these planet killer subs like we in the U.S. have in our arsenal, where basically one submarine can wipe out life on Earth as we know it. And of course, it was equipped with the latest technological developments of the Soviet and Russian arms industry. It goes without saying that a direct torpedo hit on the hull of the Kursk would not have caused substantial damage, let alone sink it. Yeah, Jim says I can read, but yeah, this is a request from the lots and lots of other people that are listening in the background that aren't watching it and that are listening. So I'm reading the subtitles for those that are not able to watch it while they're listening. So that's what we're doing today.
The Kursk was developed during the Cold War as a response to the American aircraft carriers. The aim was to make the Kursk unsinkable. Unlike Western subs, it had a double hull. Behind the outer hull was a second layer of steel, 5 centimeters thick. The Kursk was divided into 9 separate watertight compartments. In the bow was the torpedo room. Right behind it was the command and control center, the heart of the ship. In the 6th compartment were the nuclear reactors, and at the rear, in the 9th compartment, was the escape hatch.
At the time, NATO was on guard against submarines of this class. One can even say they were afraid of them, particularly because of its powerful long-range missiles.
It's all good, Wim. It's all good. Do all the research you want to do. And MQ, yes, exactly. Liver and kava beans. Yep. All the yum-yums.
In addition, the boat had good defensive potential due to modern anti-ship missiles.
The Kursk was one of 12 submarines in this class, as tall as a 4-story building and as long as 2 jumbo jets end to end. It was more than twice the size of its American counterparts. The ceremony for launching the Kursk in 1994 was an important milestone for the meagerly paid crew. For a brief moment, their worries were forgotten as they celebrated together.
I took a bottle of champagne and thought, I hope it smashes properly. I crossed myself, even though I don't believe in God. The most important thing just then would do justice to the tradition, because ships are always christened with champagne.
The
Dark Lotus, that's what she said.
launch was a success. No one could have imagined the tragedy the future would bring. In 1999, the Kursk embarked.
For anyone that is more maritime knowledgeable than I am, when they're rushing through to get, I'm assuming that was like the glass shards of that champagne glass. Is it like a good luck thing? Like, hey, this is glass that was broken against a new vessel. I don't know. Have we not learned to not call things unsinkable? No, and we will never learn. We will never learn, Christy. That lesson will never be learned. How are you doing, General T? Good to see ya. How are you doing? They're trying to get a drink. Just digging with their little shot glass. Trying to get whatever liquid they can get.
On a mission to enter the Mediterranean Sea undetected in search of American vessels. No Russian submarine had been in Mediterranean waters for almost 10 years. Video footage shot by one of the sailors provides a rare glimpse into life on board. During their return journey, the crew celebrated the success of their mission. The Kursk had passed through the Straits of Gibraltar undetected.
See, and that was the thing with the we're going to be talking next about the Gebhardt. It's an Akula class, a shark class submarine. From that point on, these Soviet subs Russian subs were virtually undetectable, which a good sub.
That's what I'm wondering, Stephanie. I'm just waiting for him to like resume the video so I can actually see what it is, if I can see what it is through the potato camera.
Should be. They were quieter, ran smoother than the U.S. counterparts. Oh my.
Hello. I mean, hey, champagne flavored vodka doesn't sound too bad, actually. It might be a little deadly, but doesn't sound too bad. Speaking about drink, I'll send you 25. Have one for me. Appreciate it. Alright, so smart. They may be better than canaries. Yeah, those Russians. Maybe a.
Oh my. They're lonely on those subs.
You're welcome, Island. You're welcome.
On the 19th of October 1999, after 2.5 months at sea, the Kursk returned to its home port of Vidyayevo on the Kola Peninsula. The families of the crew waited to be reunited with their loved ones. The Kursk was welcomed home with a military march. After the success of the Mediterranean mission, the submarine was now considered to be.
And D-Wood, thank you for the 25. I really appreciate you. Gotta do what you gotta do on a sub. Exactly, Snipe. And let's see. I didn't put away my alcohols from the last Screw It Saturday stream, so it's all handy dandy right here. Let's do this Japanese Ichiko's spirit distilled from 100% barley. Yeah. And I don't have a shot glass near me, so I'll be using a teacup. So, hey. For you, D-Wad, and for everyone else that's on this chat, for the good old Vice Squad, always the best squad, the best chat in the whole entire universe, all for you. Thanks for the support. Thanks for being here.
The finest vessel in Russia's northern fleet. And the crew were heroes. One of the men returning home was Andrei Silikava.
I thought about just drinking straight from the bottle, but I saw the my teacup right there, so I decided against it.
He was the commander of the missile compartment on board, responsible for 24 Granite cruise missiles.
24 крылатые ракеты класса «Гранит».
Oh, we'll find out who sunk it here in a minute.
Характер,
His character, I don't know how to put it. He was persevering,
настойчивый,
self-confident,
уверенный
kind.
в себе, добрый, честолюбивый.
I think he'd actually had
Все, наверное,
something
какие
of all the
хорошие
good
качества
qualities a
могут быть в
person can
человеке,
have.
наверное, присутствовали в нем, я так считаю. И люди прислушивались к нему.
And also, his
Пользовался
staff listened to
авторитетом
him.
он среди
He
своих
had authority amongst his colleagues on the Kursk,
сослуживцев.
gave them advice too.
И советовались они с ним.
And in our
И в
family, being
семье
with him was
тоже
very
мне
easy
было
for
с ним
me.
легко.
After the Mediterranean mission, confidence in the Kursk was running high. The crew were proud to serve on board. Despite their paltry and irregular wages, the submarine fleet still ranked amongst the elite of the Russian Navy.
Мы были уверены всегда в этой лодке.
The boat
Всегда
always had
считали,
our
что
full
она настолько
confidence.
надежна,
It was considered
что
so
ничего не
reliable
может
that nothing could
произойти с
happen to
ней.
it.
Не только я считала, и он считал, что
It
ничего
wasn't just me.
плохого
He believed it too.
произойти не
Nothing
может.
bad could ever happen to the Kursk. And again, as we've said, never say unsinkable. Never say nothing can happen to this vessel. That's just something that's forbidden to say on board ships for good reason. Apparently, sinking jinxes are real. You know, again, never say unsinkable, never say indestructible, never say nothing can happen. And we have Fundian. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for remembering that some of us drive for a living or otherwise can't watch but listen. Just another reason the law racks rules. Like I said, I apologize to those that it's annoying that I'm reading the subtitles, but I treat this show kind of like a radio program. Where, because I know that's what I do. I just have it on in the background in my office all day, listening to other people. So I know what I know what it's like to be listening, and suddenly it goes quiet, and you start hearing languages you don't understand. So that's why I'm reading the subtitles. Bear with me. There's not an incredible amount, but it does help those that have it on in the background. We appreciate you guys that are just listening as well. So apologies for those that it annoys, but it's for a good cause.
On Friday, the 11th of August 2000, in the Barents Sea, the Russian Northern Fleet started its most extensive naval maneuvers for 10 years. The Kursk was part of this exercise. It had been at sea for 2 days. All but a few of the crew members' families had left the naval base and gone south for the summer holidays.
Я уехала из Ведяева в середине июля. Когда он меня провожал на вокзале,
My husband took me to the station to say goodbye.
я села в вагон
I was already
поезда,
sitting in my
а
compartment,
он
and he was
остался на
standing on the
перроне. И
platform.
был такой момент, когда поезд еще не
Then there was
тронулся,
this
и
moment.
мы
The train hadn't
друг на
started
друга
moving yet.
смотрели, и у меня
And we were looking into each other's eyes, and this thought
такая
suddenly
мысль в
overcame
голове
me.
проскользнула, что я пыталась его
I was trying
запомнить
to commit him to
всего
memory the way he was.
целиком, и вот как-то всматривалась в него, и я
I looked at him
подумала,
and asked
почему я на него
myself,
так
why are you
смотрю,
looking at him
как
like
будто
that?
пытаюсь
You're
его
trying to
запомнить, и больше
memorize him as
никогда
if
не
you'd never
увижу.
see him again.
Я как-то быстро
But then
отогнала
I
от себя
quickly
эту
chased this
мысль.
thought away.
On the first day of maneuvers, the
I'll never be a trillionaire at the current value of the US dollar. Come at me, never curses. Hey, it might work. It might work. Denise, I had a boss say it's not a matter of if you get in an accident, but when you do, and how bad it turns out to be. Yeah, because that's really what matters, is when and how bad. Yeah, I don't know. I'll share. Heck yeah.
The Kursk had a single task: to launch a granite missile successfully. Submerged at periscope depth, the Kursk moved into position. The exercises began. Footage from on board an identical submarine shows the course of events in the last few moments before a missile launch. This is how it should happen. Everyone calm under pressure. No panic. It's just a simulation, yet the tension is palpable. The Kursk accomplished the mission successfully.
Wow.
The next day, the Kursk was to carry out the second.
Well, like I said, they've got the first part. They've got the first part down. The first part of the voyage, the first part of their mission went off without a hitch.
And final task in this maneuver. Victor Baronez has investigated the Kursk tragedy for over 2 years.
The main mission was a normal, almost banal task. They had to steal up on the main ship, fire off a torpedo, and leave undetected.
At 9 in the morning, the radio operators at the control center recorded the last contact with the Kursk. The submarine reported in as it approached the torpedo launch site. The radio operators waited all day for another report, but no one heard from the Kursk again. It was already at the bottom of the ocean. The maneuver's command center was very slow to notice the missing Kursk. When they realized something was wrong.
That's the problem with being a stealth submarine. Nobody knows you're missing for a while, because that's your goal, that's your mission, that's your task: not to be seen, not to be found, not to be discovered.
So technically they did a good job. Hey Daniel, how you doing? Good to see ya. Rhonda, I am here. Sorry I'm late. Had some obligations to tend to. Friends wanted to take me for my birthday meal. Others just wishing. It was your birthday today? Happy birthday, Rhonda. Hey. Happy birthday. Okay. I don't know the whole thing. But if it's your birthday today, happy birthday. Hope you had a good day today. Have you watched Down Periscope? It was based lightly on the maneuver of the ship sneaking into restricted territory. It's hilarious. I have not seen it, but I'll put it on my list. I'll check it out for sure. Probably tomorrow when I'm doing laundry.
A search for the sub was initiated. At first, there was no official announcement of the disappearance. The news that the boat was stranded on the sea floor leaked unofficially.
В то время я, хоть я и
I
хорошо
knew the
знала
Kursk
лодку, я
very
часто
well.
была на
I'd been
ней,
on board
очень
several
много
times.
слышала о ней от своего мужа, но и видела,
And my
что
husband told me a
происходит
lot
на
about
этой
how
лодке.
things work.
Была
I was
участвовала во
informed.
всем этом, но не знала, что лодка
But I
лежать
didn't
на
know that the
грунте не
boat
может.
could just lie on the bottom of the
Поэтому
sea like that.
я очень, естественно,
So I was very
нервничала,
nervous and worried.
переживала, но у меня была надежда, что
However, I
действительно
still had
это
the hope
только
that it was
разговоры,
all
это
just
только
gossip and
шумиха,
rumors and that
что
everything
на
was all
самом деле
right.
все хорошо и все нормально.
Things were far from all right. 30 hours after the accident, the Russian Navy finally located the Kursk. But their rescue equipment was outdated. Despite several attempts, a submersible failed to dock on the Kursk. The Fleet Command released scraps of information. Not even the next of kin were informed.
Все новости мы
We watched the
высыпали
news
с ними и
nonstop. We
просыпались
fell
с ними.
asleep and woke up with the television on.
Все первые новости и
From the
каждые
first newscast to the last, we
последующие
did not
мы не
move away from
отходили
the
от
television at all.
телевизора и только слушали
We
и
just listened
ждали,
and waited to see what
что
was happening.
произойдет дальше.
For several days, the Russian President Vladimir Putin refused offers of foreign assistance. It wasn't until much later that he actually visited the families of the missing crew members. By then, the whole world was watching, hoping for signs of life in the shattered submarine. But Russia was still determined to show no weakness and turned down all offers of help.
And
Mo, thanks for the raid. Appreciate ya. Mo Raiders, welcome in. For any returning people, hey, welcome back. Hey, Wolfram, watch this pause lopes in and Mo Raid. I don't have buns like Miss Shelley or Winning does, so there you go. Good to see you, Wolfram. Hope you're doing good. And for any of our new viewers, I'm doing great pause face. Yeah. We are going through Legal Vice's Maritime Monday streams, and today's episode is the Kursk and the Leopard, or however you say, submarines, and their little disaster and sinking. So, hey, I guess it's a good place to say, please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Please double check if you are still subscribed if you have already, and, you know, YouTube does its thing and just unsubscribe ya. But you guys are awesome. Thank you, Mulligan, for the raid. Let us continue.
and this is something that
It's all good, Lone Star Living. All good. Welcome in.
governments do. They don't want the outside help. They want to do it themselves. I mean, it doesn't matter which government it is. Governments aren't really keen unless it's an absolute must to ask another country to help them out. And guys, you know, let's watch the show. I'm not going to censor anything, nothing going. I'm just kind of, let's not, you know, be too political in chat. Let's all just enjoy the story together. We can have our thoughts and whatnot. Like I said, I'm not going to censor anybody or tell anybody not to do it. I'm just asking if we can't all just get along and watch this show for what it is, a tragedy that involved.
Hey, T for 2. Thanks for being a member of the Vice Squad for 3 months. Appreciate ya. Hopefully you will continue the support. Good to see ya. And thanks for being a member for 3 long months. Before I go, hi, new subscriber. Hey, thanks for being a new subscriber. Welcome in. Good to see ya. Hopefully you will sit back, relax, get some snacks, get some drinks, and enjoy the show. I'm just working on some stuff, and I'll talk to the chat whenever I feel it's necessary and say hi and bye together. Good to see ya.
The lives of a huge number of men. Jillian N, thank you so much for the super chat. You are the Larax. You speak for the Russians. Thank you for reading for those of us who can't keep eyes on the screen at all times. Well, that's my pleasure. That's what we're doing. So, anywho, I just ask you guys to kind of be a little considerate of each other in the chat. And this is kind of an apolitical chat. So, yeah, but I you do what you feel you need to do. But I'm just
Been there, done that. Where have you been? How dare you show up now? But hey, better late than never. Howdy. Hopefully I can talk soon. Hope you're doing good.
asking you, just, you know, as a favor to me.
Millions of people waited as the Russian Fleet Command and the country's leaders wasted precious time.
Мы очень долго ждали, когда
We waited a
придет
very long time for the foreign divers
помощь
to arrive.
от
We were
водолазов
counting the days, the
зарубежных.
minutes, literally the
Вот
seconds. But
считали
it kept
дни,
being put
буквально
off.
часы и минуты, а все время отодвигался этот срок. И,
Exactly, Rizzle.
конечно,
The only thing we could
не
do
знаю, нам оставалось, я
during that
молилась,
time was
только
pray.
ходила.
On the 20th of August, Norwegian specialist divers arrived at the site of the accident.
Well, widow. Well, Wim, she's a widow. There you go. That's the sentence I was gonna say. So, is she still alive? Who knows? But shoot your shot.
The Kursk had been stranded for 8 days. Even after official permission had been granted for the rescue to go ahead, the Fleet Command was still suspicious and obstructive. No one knew whether there would be any survivors. But the divers tried to stay optimistic.
Oh, been there, done that. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're doing good, and hopefully the family's doing good. And good on you for taking care of your dad. Good on you. On a new phone, haven't figured it out yet. Hey, T42, you'll get there. And you have all the support from everyone around you, including me, to help you out if needed. Sorry, was watching Maritime Monday at night. So lovely. Hey, and it's lovely that you're here. Hopefully this will be an easier experience for everyone to watch his stuff. And that is what I'm here for, is to help everyone out.
When they managed to open the escape hatch, the situation was clear. The submarine was completely flooded.
That right there tells you you've got a dead ship, and few or none are alive. You just pop the hatch and all you see is more water.
Надежда была.
But
Надежда
despite
все-таки
all
была, и
that,
она
we still had hope.
оставалась вот до тех пор, пока оттуда
And we
не
didn't
ушли
lose hope until
корабли,
all the ships had left,
когда их
until they just
бросили
abandoned the
просто-напросто, и
operation.
не было никакого
By
другого
then, there was
выхода,
no other way
как
out.
думать только об
There was
этом,
nothing left to hope for.
о том,
It
что
was
все
all over.
кончено.
The disaster affected the entire Russian population. The country's pride was injured, and confidence in the president was shaken. An ambitious plan to raise the Kursk was drawn up in the Kremlin. Russia's government wanted to eliminate an environmental hazard, but most of all, they wanted to find out what caused the accident. 1 year after the sinking of the Kursk, ships moored above the site of the accident once again. They were part of one of the most difficult and dangerous underwater salvage operations of all time.
And that is no joke. This is one of the largest salvage operations that's ever been undertaken in the history of mankind. To get this submarine up to find out what happened to it. And these huge salvage vessels are insanely big. You're thinking the things they're raising are big. These are just gargantuan pieces of equipment.
A Dutch-led consortium of specialist companies had been authorized by the Russian Navy to raise the Kursk and bring it back to land.
Everything what was difficult was in the project. We had to do with nuclear reactors on board, weapons. We had to do with a very short time frame, 4 months, to do the operation. We had uncertain weather circumstances. We had a Russian client. So everything was in it. So we had to use all the talents of ourselves and our people to succeed. And when you succeed then in a job like this, it gives you everything what a human being wanted to have.
On board.
And the expense of doing these operations is just, I mean, unfathomable. Literally. I mean, we're dealing with a case now that just this case has been going on, God, I think for 16 years now, and there's been a Coast Guard order here in Korea to. This thing is it's about where the Kursk was. It's 100 meters under the ocean, and they've been ordered to remove the oil from the sunken ship that's been sunk for like 16 years or however the hell long it's been, because they're afraid that as time goes on, the hull will deteriorate and then the oil will spill out and pollute the sea environment. So they've been under this order to remove the oil from this ship that's 100 meters under the ground, under the water. And just the removal costs for that are well north of $10 million just to get the oil out of this sunken ship. Now imagine raising an entire submarine that's the same length as 2 jumbo jets end to end. It can literally get in the range of $100 million.
Aboard the salvage vessels, the Giant and the Mayo, people worked around the clock. Cranes with special hoisting winches were set up. They would later lift the Kursk to the surface using gigantic steel cables. The short-term demand for steel for the recovery operation was so great that the Dutch market was completely sold out for weeks. Every stage of the operation had to be discussed and agreed with the Russians. The atmosphere was difficult at first, but in the interests of their common goal, suspicions were put aside. Before lifting could begin, specialist divers had to explore in and around the submarine.
Good to see you, Yamaha. Maritime Monday had this Saturday. You can film me with the clickbait. Hey, technically it's not clickbait because I named it Maritime Monday Saturday Watch Party. So the word Saturday is right there. So it's not technically a clickbait. But it got you. So welcome in. It's not that bad. 10 million to stave off ecological disaster and famine to your country. What choice does Britain? But still, it's a crazy number. Well over 10 million. I wish I had well over $10 million. That would be awesome. And yeah, well, Wolfram just reminded me. If you haven't checked out Yamaha's newest, I'm pretty sure it's the newest one, his true crime story time, check that out. Very interesting story. Anyway, show him some love.
First time that I landed on the Kursk, because we had to jump from the diving bell. We had to jump down about 10 meters, and then you go down like a parasailer, and then you hit the deck of the Kursk, and it was impressive. The size of that thing, of the Kursk, it was huge. And then within the hour, when you find your way around, you get to the damage where the explosion was, and the devastation of the damage. What happened there was impressive. I've never seen so much damage, and the people who were close to the explosion, as I might say, they were lucky. They were really lucky.
So that's your first indication of what happened. There was a massive explosion on board the ship. And when you consider how probably most of the people on there died, it's like this salvage guy is saying that the ones that were there where the explosion happened, they were probably the lucky ones.
Maybe one of the missiles exploded. Who knows? If there was an explosion and there were missiles on board, that's really the only explanation. No. Air pressure could be one thing too. Who knows?
First, the ravaged bow of the Kursk had to be sawn off. Otherwise, the mangled metal could unbalance the wreckage during the lifting operation. A specially designed chainsaw was used. Its surface was fitted with artificial diamonds, able to cut through the hardest of steels.
2 cilinders die in de bodem zaten, op ankers, met deze draad heen en weer bewogen. En daardoor kregen we dus een zagende beweging. Normaal als je...
Oh yeah. I forgot we this is how the saw operated. Usually when we use a saw on shipwrecks, we work from the bottom to the top.
Dan zaag je van onder naar boven. Hou je de ketting eronder door. Dan ga je van onder naar boven. Maar in dit geval was het niet mogelijk om
But since we didn't know where the damage was and what the problems were in this case,
en dan problemen zouden zijn. Deze zijn we begonnen
we saw it from
boven
the
naar
top
beneden
to
te
the
zagen.
bottom.
What language was that? I was trying to figure it out, and I cannot figure out what that language is. Maybe like it was mentioned before, but I don't know. That's an interesting sounding language.
Cutting off the nose of the submarine took several weeks. The sawing cable kept jamming, and the divers had to repair it. The cutting line was right next to the torpedoes.
Yeah, how's that? Let's saw into some torpedoes and see what happens. But for those of you that were asking, the Kursk is 154 meters long. That's 505 feet long. it was 60 feet across and 10 meters underwater. The draft was 10 meters, so 30 feet.
Oh, Dutch. Okay. Thanks. Appreciate you guys for educating me. But 505 feet is a giant submarine. And yeah, that design was pretty cool. I liked the design. Too bad it sank.
So I mean, it's a huge submarine.
The risk of detonation forced the divers to wait at a safe distance. The operation was also hindered by the...
Ash, thank you for the 15. Really appreciate it for the clicky baity bait. What? Clickety... What? Clickety... I can't talk. Ash, you're messing me up. Clickety clackety bait money. There you go. Ah, my brain is having technical difficulties. Thanks for the 15. Appreciate you.
The weather conditions in the Barents Sea. There were yet more frustrating delays for the salvage teams.
Ooh, how many bodies were recovered? We'll get to the details later.
Where's Baker when you need him? I know. He's busy doing trials. But most people are doing, well, most people are saying it's Dutch, so I'll just go with Dutch. And Full Crash Randy, how you doing? Good to see you.
The weather in the Barents Sea is very changeable.
Dus dat was elke keer was het gewoon op het laatste moment stoppen met werken, safe wassen van de spullen. En dan weer wachten, 1 of 2 dagen wachten. En dan daarna als we weer konden, die alles weer losmaken. En alleen de ellende was dat op een gegeven moment die...
The worst thing was that the intervals between the low pressure fronts became
tussen die depressie werden steeds korter. Dus op een gegeven moment ging de depressie
as far as I'm aware, 3 days after we lifted the submarine, a huge storm started and never stopped.
Bij de meteorologen, dat na 3 dagen nadat we gehesen hebben,
basically we were just
is het echt gaan waaien, is het niet meer stil geworden. Dus we hebben gewoon dat gebied gewoon...
There are 2 things I hate in this world: people who are intolerant of other people's culture, and the Dutch. I don't know where that's from, Snipe, but maybe I don't know. Yeah, Baker's not Dutch. I heard. Oh, island fighting words. Fighting words for calling Baker Swedish. But yeah, Baker knows how to speak Dutch. I know that. We'll see. But a lot of people are saying Dutch, so I'll just go with Dutch.
The divers worked in shifts. They spent 4 days in the pressure chamber after returning from the wreck stranded 100 meters below the surface. At the end of their shift, they were checked for
General T is Dutch, and he said it's Dutch, therefore it's Dutch. Case closed. I need a gavel sound. I should put that on the thing. Maybe next time.
Exposure to radiation from the nuclear reactors on board the Kursk.
See, and that's the thing. When you do those deep water dives, you just can't go up and go about your life. You have to decompress because you've the force under the water, just the pressure under the water has just literally been smashing you. And if you go up too fast, we know you can get the bends, and it can kill you. I had a friend that got the bends from a free dive, and said it was horrifically painful. And I mean, if you're down 100 meters for extended periods of time, like I said, it took them 4 days in a pressure chamber to slowly decompress.
The aim was to minimize the risk to the divers as much as possible.
Toen ik gevraagd werd om mee te gaan werken aan de berging van de Kursk, heb ik wel natuurlijk nagedacht wat de risico's waren. Omdat het inderdaad een...
Together, 3 other divers of Smith International. There was risk involved. After all, this was a submarine full of torpedoes and missiles.
Heb ik goed tegen elkaar afgewogen.
I made the decision to take part, not because of the
beslissing gemaakt om het toch te doen. Niet vanwege het geld, maar
but in order to be part of this operation and simply because it's my job.
Het mee te maken en omdat het natuurlijk je werk is.
You constantly worry
als
about
je
the
moet
risk.
gaan nadenken wat de risico's
Well, I'll get that someday.
zijn. Als je daar constant over na blijft denken,
best you stay above water
dan moet je niet dit beroep gaan doen. Dan kan je beter boven water blijven.
For the Kursk to be raised, 26 holes had to be cut in the hull.
This is so wild how they raised this thing.
Special steel plugs with arms that unfolded under the beams were anchored in the holes cut in the hull. At a depth of 108 meters, it was a laborious procedure requiring painstaking accuracy. The divers often had to remove scrap metal that had broken away as the Kursk sank.
De fysieke belasting.
The physical
die is
strain was
heel erg
immense.
zwaar.
The energy you normally
De
use in
energie
scuba
die je
diving
normaal stopt
over a
in
period of 1 or
luchtduiken,
2 hours is nothing
dat is
compared to the
gedurende een uur
exertions
of
of
2 uur. Die kan je niet in
saturation
het
diving.
saturatieduiken
You're absolutely exhausted
stoppen.
within an hour.
Omdat je dan binnen een uur ben je gewoon
The strain
helemaal
on the body is
dwars af.
equal to that of a marathon
Je
run.
hebt het gevoel alsof je een hele marathon hebt gelopen.
Over a year after the Russian submarine Kursk sank mysteriously with the loss of all 118 men on board, the international salvage team was at last ready to start the ambitious operation to lift the wreckage from the bottom of the Barents Sea.
So there you go. 118 people were on this submarine, and every one of them died. Some of them not immediately.
Having been embedded 8 meters down in the silt for over a year, the Kursk was hoisted slowly towards the surface. On board the salvage vessel Giant, every winch was working at full capacity. They were pulling on 18,000 tons of steel.
Jeez.
On board the barge, the huge mass of steel below was barely perceptible. All the winches were computer-controlled. The Kursk moved upwards at a rate of about 10 meters an hour. After 10 hours of nervous anticipation, the job was accomplished. The Kursk was suspended under the keel of the Giant, exactly as planned.
See, and that should tell you how big these salvage vessels are. When you've got this 500-foot long submarine, this 150-meter long submarine, and they're calling the ship that it's carrying a Giant. Rodell says, some point of national pride, but is it normal for people to ask the Dutch for this? I knew we were great at sea stuff, but not that we were this good. A lot of the salvage work is done by Norway, Denmark, and Japan, and basically all the Scandinavian countries, except for like Sweden.
Hey Linda, how you doing? Good afternoon to you. Hopefully you're having a good Saturday so far. And no, thank you, Connor, for taking the helm and doing such a phenomenal job. Hey, appreciate you. Thank you. I could use a strong letter, which. Oh, right there. Dutch. Gotcha. I should have waited before I asked the question of what language it was. But hey, we got our residential Dutch General T. So hey, thanks. Considered neutral countries? Yeah? Neutral countries, as you say, Yamaha?
Sweden and Sweden. I've never heard of them, but Holland and Denmark and Norway. And for some reason, the Japanese, Nippon Salvage is a huge salvage company. So they're I guess the people that are good at engineering, the people that are good at engineering do it. And 007.5, Jim, you've just become a new member. Thank you. Thank you for not abandoning me because I'm reading. Welcome to the Clean and Sober crew, our most recent member. Let's give it up for Jim. All right, so we've lost 118 people.
The most difficult part of the recovery operation was complete, and it was time to celebrate. But despite being elated at their success, the salvage teams could not forget the dead crew of the Kursk.
Mm-hmm.
The divers left a memorial stone on the seabed.
Thank you. And we get a first super.
Hey, June. Good night, everyone. It's coming up to 10 p.m. I have a busy day tomorrow, so going to try and get some sleep amid the storm. Thank you, June, for being here. Really appreciate ya. And Lefty, how you doing? What kind of cake do you want? What kind of cake we're talking about here? Good to see ya. Hopefully have a good night, June. I think I just read your comment and said nothing. But have a good night. Thanks for being here. Having cake when you didn't have any people seems weird. True. But it's cake. Cake's just good to eat whenever. German chocolate? Ooh, nice. Cheesecake for me, please. Thank you.
Super chat from 007.5 Jim too. He's killing it today. I feel grifted. Well, good. I guess I'm doing my job. Now, if you haven't hit that like button, that's your last step. That's your last step, hitting the like button and subscribing.
I'm sure he said at some point, but why were they called the clean and sober chat? He was neither clean or sober. I don't know. If any of the mods know the story or the clip of when he talks about it, hey, feel free to send it over. Or explain in chat, whichever. I don't know the story behind all of his member tiers. Sarcasm? Probably. Under the sea, darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. How you doing, Nick? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Irony? Sarcasm? Who knows? The cake is a lie and y'all know it don't.
We've also got a raid from Meme Copium. Meme Copium is just raiding us over here. Thank you and welcome everybody from Meme Copium. While you're here, we've got 520 concurrent viewers and only 274 likes. Oh my. All right, it's going to be one of those nights, is it? Those of you that are here, hit that like button. Half of you aren't doing your jobs. We got some administrative business to deal with here suddenly. So we'll take care of that. And while I'm doing that, you make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have Just a Map nailed to the wall with the $100 super chats, which triggers. Oh, excuse me, while you recover the glass I just dropped.
Good job, Dad. Jeez.
Hey, doggies, don't eat the glass.
Tears when clean and sober, then Bent Angels, Broken Wings, then
Right,
Fallen
I'm coming
Angels.
back here. All right.
It was gradation of.
And this is a testimonial for Glencairn glasses. These are really, really good glasses. They survive falls quite well. Just
They survive falls off of Dad's table to his wooden floor, and my roommate somehow managed to break it while doing the dishes because it dropped from the I think it dropped from the cabinet to the kitchen counter, I think, or it was just like fell into the sink, shattered, gone. I don't know. I don't know. It has its preference of people.
Just a Map nailed to the wall has triggered the $100 rule, which is $100 is a shot of whiskey. What do we got today? We have the
Hey, Jam, how are you doing?
Texas blended whiskey, which is a remarkable whiskey. It's 41% and it tastes like.
Lefty, thanks for being here. Appreciate you, sir. And if someone can drop Lefty's channel link, please go and support him. If you love any gamings and other fun stuff, go support Lefty. Thanks for being here. Dad used up all of his extra lives. Probably, Lone Star. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Banana cream is really, really good. Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. Why do I always catch these videos at the worst time? There's no such thing as a worst time for you. Just a Map nailed to the wall. And remember, this Friday is our F It Friday stream. Stay tuned for that. With our all-star cast, we'll be here. It'll be fun. Looking forward to seeing you there. Just a Map nailed to the wall. You and Tank Rat too, and everybody else. Cheers to you. You are a mensch. You are a man among men. Deeply, deeply appreciated. Unlike those losers that used to be here, the Brandon Collective, we don't need them. You, you far eclipse them in generosity and just general studliness. Thank you so much. And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
It took the giant 3 days to tow the Kursk back to home waters. Auxiliary pontoons lifted the giant, and with it the Kursk, a little way out of the water. Once in the dock, the submarine was separated from the salvage barge. 1 year and 2 months after sinking, sections of the Kursk were above water once more.
No, they're all there. All the OJs.
My first feeling was that I was very proud of my team, of all the work, all the people who worked on the project. And my first thinking was, when you can do such a project with such a very good team as we have, you can do everything in the world. And the second feeling was, of course, the fact that it was possible to bring the bodies home again to their families. So it was not only a question, the whole project of money. It was a very emotional job. I can say you that it was the most difficult, but also the most nicest job I ever did in my life.
See, whatever your politics are, whatever you're thinking, I mean, this is still 118 people that are never going back to their families, their mothers, their wives, their children. And then you get these guys that they're well paid for what they do, but still they show their respects. They're being respectful while they're working.
Oh, Digger, thanks for joining in. Happy Sabbath. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. Thank you again, Digger. Thank you. And also go subscribe to Digger as well. Go show please help me talk. I don't know how. So good to see you, Digger. Like and subscribe to Digger too. There you go.
For their living. And as long as we're paused, I guess we need to do this again. Just a map nail.
Yeah, so it yeah. Lots of bodies in confined space, true. Also, I think the sea, like the ocean, will kind of mask that smell as well. Or do you mean the ones that are like above sea? If they're above sea, yeah, the smell would not be that great. Under the sea, smell might be not bad. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting, though. I haven't really thought about that.
Nailed to the wall again. I may bring the entire collective out today. Tell the collective to save their money for Effort Friday. But I mean, you know.
Yeah, the ones above. Yeah. The people who are right there, the cleanup crew, the first smell will never leave their memory, I'm sure. That'll be horrifying. Like, I don't mind seeing, like, all those, like, gruesome, all that stuff, but, like, if the smell, like, smell-wise, yeah. I don't know. No, thank you.
You can still be here. Just bring the collective on Friday. Effort Friday is where we need to be. I may bring out the entire collective today. I was in an airport for 10 hours yesterday and need to take it out on...
Connor, you really need to look into getting your tongue unwrapped from your eye teeth so you can see what you're saying. A couple of bodies are bad enough, 118. It's a smell you never forget. Yeah.
Someone's liver. Your own is probably where you want to be. I mean, I know I would be well liquored up if I was trapped in an airport for 10 hours. But thank you again so much. Always appreciate it. I'm at a loss for words because, as I said, you are a man among men, generous, giving, supportive. You make it all worth doing. Thank you. All righty.
Когда ее подняли со дна, и показалась рубка,
The moment that the boat was
конечно, очень
lifted
тяжело
and the
было,
tower
и
became visible, it was very difficult. We cried.
плакали. Вот. И какое-то чувство радости,
But we
наверное,
also
что
felt something like joy
все-таки
because
мы
we
ее
saw the Kursk
увидели.
again,
Хоть в
even in
каком-то,
this sad state.
хоть в таком плачевном виде, но мы ее увидели. И появилась надежда, что мы получим.
General T, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you. Hopefully you have a beautiful rest of your weekend. And stay safe.
We saw it and the hope rose that at least we would have the bodies.
The Russian Navy had remained silent ever since the Kursk went down. Everyone hoped the wreck would provide some clue to the events which led to the deaths of 118 men. Rumors of suspicious behavior had been circulating ever since the disaster, and in some cases, even before the maneuvers began in August 2000.
Курск ушел в море на 3 дня раньше времени.
As a
Даже
journalist
многие
from the ironically
офицеры,
named
не говоря уже
Pravda,
о матросах,
the Kursk
набирались
sailed off 3 days
стихийно,
before it
по
was scheduled
ПХ.
to.
Некоторых
And
назначали
many
по 2, по
officers,
3
not to
раза.
mention the
И
seamen,
уж
were
совсем
selected and put together
красноречивый
hastily and
факт, что
without
даже
prior warning.
начальник штаба дивизии, 7-й дивизии, капитан первого ранга Багрянцев, он до последнего
The
момента
commander of the
даже не
7th
был в
Submarine
списках.
Division was not on the Kursk crew until the last minute.
The inspection of the Kursk took place at Roslyakovo, a dry dock on the Kola Peninsula. Throughout the winter, investigators from the Military Prosecutor's Office worked in sub-zero temperatures to sift their way through tons of metal, plastic and silt, looking for evidence. It was not a job for the faint-hearted.
Я прошел Афганистан, чеченскую первую кампанию, так что для меня я уже был готов настроен именно на такую работу, что чисто психологически. Поэтому для меня, как говорится, эмоций не могло существовать каких-то. Я должен был выполнить именно эту работу. Я должен был найти.
God, look at the inside of that. Can you imagine the explosion that it would take to do that much damage inside of this massive double-hulled submarine? I mean, it just gutted it. And Flux, thank you so much for your super chat. Is Just a Map Nailed to the Wall the Brandon Collective? Is that where he went? No, of course not. Of course not. Those degenerate Brandons, they just took off somewhere. Just a Map Nailed to the Wall is the keeper of the Brandon Collective. Perhaps he'll let them come out to play someday. Digger says, has anyone seen Brandon Lesko? He's not been around. Maybe he's like Batman. And I've just realized that when I have these super chats up for an extended period of time, you can't read the subtitles either. I was supposed to carry out the task of identifying the corpses and returning them to their families.
И вернуть их родственникам, чтобы, как говорится, людей похоронили по христианскому обычаю.
So that they received a decent Christian
Естественно, конечно, параллельно мы должны были находить
документы, оружие,
необходимое то, чтобы нам что-то позволило приблизиться к тайне гибели данной лодки.
Despite having...
I might be tripping, but him, for a second, looked like Tom Hardy. Yeah, I'm tripping.
Despite having practiced on another submarine, gaining access to the interior of the Kursk was physically and psychologically demanding for the investigators. There are some things that can't be simulated.
Они готовились в лодке, которые все механизмы стоят на своих местах по штатному расписанию. Все находится. На месте мы обнаружили полный завал. Все, что можно было сместить с места, все это было сдвинуто. Больше того, весь второй отсек, все, что находилось во втором отсеке, оно оказалось в третьем отсеке.
The investigation was a harrowing and difficult job.
It literally blew one section of the submarine into the other section of the submarine. And Andrew Brunton, a member for 2 months of the Clean and Sober crew. Thank you so much. Can we get Viced to 30 shots on F It Friday? We got 41 last time. We're going for 50.
God dang. 40.
That's my goal. 50 this time. that's my F It Friday shot goal. 50. We got through 26. We did 15 makeup shots over the next week or so. Now we need to get up to 50 shots. That's the goal. And helping us do that a few days early, yet another. The Brandons have been unleashed. Hey, definitely not Brandons. Go back in your cave until Saturday or Friday or whatever day it is. Oh God. What does this $100 super chat button do? God damn it. We've got people, we're trying to be somber here. Long time no see. Definitely not Brandon. Welcome back, I guess, on a Monday. Cheers. Thank you. You'll be a man before your mother, Brandon.
But when the investigators reached the 9th compartment, they made their most horrifying discovery. 23 seamen had survived the initial explosion and waited there in vain for help.
See, that's the part that kills me. That was a poor choice of words, wasn't it? That's the part that just guts me. Was
Jeff actually did them. He would drink me under the table. He stopped doing shots for $100 and got the wheel of regrets after a few Fridays of excessive regrets. It's so beautiful and awesome. You got so much of your dad's caring, gentle, beautiful light and spirit with added great sense of humor, just minus the love of scotch and grocery foods. Phoenix, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Yes, this is about the Kursk. That is correct. I enjoy the kayak, but I don't think I appreciate people being disrespectful for no reason, just me. I don't think appreciate people being disrespectful for no reason, just me. That's how you end up with Nick. Hey, I'm happy that I ended up with the Nick Cage blanket. Thoughts I'm Navy? Hey, good to know. Good to know.
It killed about 100 of them, but still more than 20 people survived the initial explosion. Flux says the Brandons are back. D what says 50 shots is impossible. And Andrew Brunton says, oof, 50 shots. That's when your liver says, F this, S, I'm out. We made it to 26. The last 2 months, I've made it to 26 or 27 shots and then just had to do makeup. But we'll see how far we get before I tap out.
Their bodies told the story.
We recovered all the bodies from the 9th compartment within 3 days.
Сделать это было крайне сложно, поскольку некоторые из них были зажаты там.
It turned out to be an extremely difficult task, as many of them were lodged in the buckled constructions. One of the bodies, for example, was so badly stuck that we couldn't get him out for 2 days. I mean, the ship just collapsed around them, literally just like trapped people in the metal, just crushed them in the metal of the ship. Oh, that's just heart-wrenching.
The investigators could not bear to discuss some of the things they saw. Some of them were so traumatized by the experience they could not continue. The emotional strain was too much.
Interesting, Phoenix. Interesting. I was still on active duty when the parents were so mad at Putin at a press conference that we volunteered our help, but they didn't want it. Interesting.
Свои обязанности согласно там аварийного расписания, скажем так.
In the case of an accident, every crew member on board the submarine has their respective jobs assigned to him for the respective situation. For instance, one should hold a key to the strong room in his hands and have documents ready for a possible evacuation. And that's exactly how we found it. Next to the strong room with the key in his hand. There was no panic. Everyone did what was assigned to them in the short time they had in the front compartment.
Близко к красному! Видеокамеру мне на руку!
Честно говоря, вот в первые дни трудно было удержаться
To be
от
honest, it was
слез,
hard to hold back the tears that filled our eyes during the first days.
которые,
I don't know
ну,
how to explain it.
что ли, заполняли глаза. Ну, не знаю, как это объяснить. Вот удивляло вот мужество моряков, которые вот работали, действовали в той обстановке. Там на лодке был кромешный ад. И вот, особенно в 9-м отсеке, вот как они себя мужественно вели.
So what caused the disaster? What happened during the final moments of the Kursk?
Definitely not.
An official
We'll get to you
paper
in just a
containing
minute.
the results of the investigation has been published, but many questions remain unanswered. There are numerous theories about what caused the disaster. At first, the Russian Fleet Command maintained that the Kursk had been rammed by a foreign submarine.
Yeah, that was the initial deal. It was in a collision with another, possibly an American submarine. No.
During the Russian maneuvers, there had been American submarines in the area to observe the naval exercises in the Barents Sea. Submarines can sometimes pass within a few hundred meters of each other, but cannot see each other underwater. They orientate themselves in relation to the propeller noises of nearby boats using sonar. But this is often unreliable. The Kursk was in notoriously difficult and shallow waters. The sensitive reactor cooling system of the Kursk meant that the keel should always stay at least 50 meters from the seabed.
What makes you say so sure of that, Jeff?
Лодка 154 метра длиной.
The selection of the maneuver area alone is questionable.
Подчеркиваю, не в боевой обстановке, научение вышло на 100-метровые глубины, 108 глубин. Это уже заодно, это научение уже достаточно было получить.
Moxie, how are ya? Hopefully, I'll learn how to speak one day. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good weekend. Good to see ya. Daughter's BF and Nick HPL has changed faces with swipe of a hand. Sadly, we lost her bag of COVID before 21st birthday. Threw me seeing someone else look. Wow, Aunt Clara. That shut my brain down, but it's my brain shut down. Super chill Saturday, nice.
To be punished for a final reprimand prior to suspension.
It's not possible for a submarine to swerve off a collision course just a few meters from impact. If the Kursk was hit at the bow, the torpedo room would have been damaged. This could have caused the weapons to explode.
Они тоже получают оповещение, они тоже знают, что учение, тем более в мелководье. Мелководье, где идут торпедные стрельбы. Но какой командир подводной лодки захочет идти в этот район, чтобы получить торпеду в борт? Прямую торпеду, пусть она будет практически не боевая. А потом откуда знает командир супостата о том, что здесь проводятся стрельбы практическими торпедами, а не боевыми.
The torpedoes were fired for practice and not live ones. So who would go into that area? Therefore, I think the theory about a collision with another submarine is unconvincing.
Another theory was that a Russian ship shelled the submarine. The Kursk could have been hit by friendly fire. Shortly before the final radio communication with the Kursk, a missile firing exercise was in progress nearby on the flagship of the Northern Fleet, Peter the Great. Did a misdirected Russian missile hit the Kursk?
Even if a missile had struck the area where the Kursk was, it would have been a granite missile.
Да, ракеты «Гранит» такие же ракеты, как на
like those the Kursk was fitted with. It wouldn't have caused any damage, nothing whatsoever.
Ну ничего бы не сделал. Был бы
Okay, there would have
удар.
been a blast, nothing more,
Взрыва,
since it
естественно,
would
бы не
have been
последовало,
just an
потому что
unarmed missile
практическая ракета.
without explosive
Нет
charges.
боевой части. Пока ракета летела, горючее, которое
One
есть
can
на
argue that such a
практической
missile
ракете,
has a
да,
lot
она,
of
конечно,
fuel in it, and it
вырабатывается.
would surely have exploded.
Ну, был бы взрыв, ну и что?
Again, there would have been just
Поэтому
a small
версия, то,
explosion, so
что с
what?
какого-то
Therefore, I
корабля, в
refuse to
частности, с
believe
Петра
the
Великого,
version
была
that a missile
запущена
fired
ракета,
by a surface
которая
vessel
изменила
is to be
траекторию
blamed
и
for the
является
sinking of the
виновницей
Kursk.
гибели Курска, она не состоится.
Okay, then what do you think, mister? I don't think all these theories are correct. Alrighty. Phoenix, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. I want to hear his theory, because he believes none of the theories are correct.
The bow section of the Kursk. This is where the explosive torpedoes and anti-ship missiles were stored. There were lightweight, electrically powered torpedoes and heavyweight ones driven by diesel. The heavyweight torpedoes were often up to 10 years old.
If it can be hit from the outside, there must be an inside job. There was a spy. Or there's always human error. So that could have done it too, yeah. That is very true.
Would have been fired several times and repaired in order to be used again. A heavyweight torpedo is driven through the water by a propeller powered by a small diesel engine. Combustion engines need oxygen. In Russian torpedoes, this oxygen is extracted from a small tank filled with hydrogen peroxide.
They can bleach
If
its
this
hair.
tank had even a tiny leak, contact with a flammable substance could be fatal. But how could such a leak occur? What if the torpedo had been damaged while being loaded onto the submarine? This amateur video shows the loading of missiles onto the Kursk 1 week before her fateful journey. Everything seemed normal.
The last time I spoke to him on the phone was before they put to sea.
Настроение у него было хорошее. И
He was in a good mood.
единственное,
I asked
когда я
him
его
how things
спросила,
were on the
как у
boat.
вас дела, потому что я всегда интересовалась, как происходит там, что
He said we're loading
на
right now
службе.
and getting ready
Он
for
сказал, что мы
departure.
грузимся и готовимся к выходу в море. Вот единственная вот
But
фраза,
there was something
которая...
he said that I
Ну, я
didn't
тогда
attach
не...
much.
Well, it was a Soviet era submarine, so yes, Yamaha, it's Russian built.
Importance to it at the time. He said we're loading some kind of new torpedoes.
During the loading of these torpedoes, there was a significant incident. There were eyewitnesses to this event, but they are not willing to speak on camera.
That's probably wise.
Произошло то, что при подъеме торпеды
While they were loading the torpedoes in the
и
dock, some of
перегрузке
the
в
old
лодку,
ropes and
вот уже
chains of the
написано,
crane broke.
тросы
And
старые,
only because the
цепи
rest of them held the load did
оборвались,
the whole torpedo
лопнули,
not
и
fall
поползли
onto the
только
landing
благодаря
stage.
там каким-то цепям.
Part
Одна
of it
сторона
remained
осталась на
suspended in the
воздухе, а
air, but the
вторая
main body of the
ударилась, вот
torpedo hit the
хвостовая
floor.
часть, она ударилась, но торпеда была загружена.
I bet everyone had to change their pants when they saw the main body of the torpedo hit the floor. That would be a scary, scary sight to see.
In spite of that incident, the torpedo was loaded onto the Kursk. It is obvious to every civilian that we are not dealing with.
Hey Tamara, how are you doing? Been listening, no caregiver for my mom today? Well, glad you're lurking. Do what you gotta do. I know that's what it was leaking. Their vehicles were known for great engineering as well. Was it armed? Probably not. Start the video. There you
With
go.
a sack of potatoes
Мы
here.
не с мешком картошки имеем
What we
дело,
have
мы
is a
имеем
very
дело с
powerful
оружием,
weapon
с
able to
мощнейшим
destroy a
оружием,
nuclear
которое может
submarine.
уничтожить и подводный крейсер.
Exactly, Jim.
Ooh, take this intermission here to clear up some stuff that's going on here. We're clearly spiraling out of control. Definitely not Brandon. So I saw the graphic for the F It Friday stream. Is it actually posted to YouTube? Never looked. Yes, it's actually posted to YouTube. Can start making some down payments. Also, everyone should go. Yeah, Also, everyone should go watch the first F It Friday stream. That was a 10-train pileup mixed with a dumpster fire. Yeah, it was. I have since adjusted my pre-drink stream pre-game warm-up regimen, so we've got it under control. Yeah, that that went off the rails way better than they usually do. All right, and Rhode Isle 13th. Oh, yeah, I guess I have to do this, don't I? Rhode Isle 13. Would the sub that would have hit the Kursk? Wouldn't the sub that would have hit the Kursk not also have been severely damaged at the very least? Well, that's why it doesn't hold any water, so to speak. If it had been involved in a collision with an American sub, the American sub would have been destroyed as well, or ridiculously seriously damaged, because the Kursk was twice as large as the largest U.S. submarine at that time. So the U.S. submarine would have come out on the short end of that stick. And definitely not Brandon. Thank you so much. There's still one more. Oh, God, I didn't see this one. Just a map nailed to the wall. Oh, God. Okay, you can read captions. We got it. Let's allocate our time to more important things like finishing that bottle of booze. Oh, what do you know? It's empty suddenly. Also, what color are the pants you're not wearing? That should answer your question right there. But I'm wearing a lovely burgundy color boxer briefs, in case anybody wants to know. Cheers. All right. I still have to do a trial stream.
Well, maybe they did puke so much, just not on camera. Privately, they probably did. Maybe iceberg, maybe.
Stream 45 minutes from now and work tomorrow, just so you know. Oh, God damn it. Stop that. We'll watch some and then we'll come back.
They did, Stephanie.
If the
they
hit
did.
caused small but vital damage to some of the torpedo's wiring, then as the Kursk left for the Barents Sea, the seeds of the disaster had already been sown.
Тогда начнется, вот так, обычное горение. А так как энергии некуда деваться, то давление будет повышаться в этом ограниченном пространстве. Не подводной лодки, а само.
I was watching the video. The pressure begins to increase.
Давление повышается, то, наверное, будет разгерметизация.
Not in the submarine, but first of all, only in the torpedo.
No, Lone Star Living, no. Hell no. I did not inherit the burgundy briefs. I can buy it because I know where he bought it. It's from the good old place of Walmart. So if I wanted burgundy briefs, I can get it from there. So I did not take him from his house. Hey, how are you doing, Mary Jane? Hi, sorry I'm late. I had a birthday party to attend. No problem. Good to see you. Welcome in.
The pressure keeps increasing and the tank that contains the fuel starts leaking.
The Kursk was a ticking time bomb, carrying 118 people towards oblivion.
Причины гибели корабля — это
the cause that led to the sinking of the Kursk had to do with a flaw in a heavyweight torpedo. That causes, wow, that was short. Shortly after that, the Ferris fire broke out on board.
В результате чего
the rapidly rising temperature ignited the fuel tanks
сработали стартовики
of both the heavy and the lightweight anti-ship missiles stored in the same section of the submarine.
противолодочных ракет, которые были на борту.
You can tell me what to do, good sir Yamaha. You can tell me what to do.
Аварийную тревогу на корабле
emergency
объявили,
alarm went off, which corresponds with the fact that
потому
people were
что
later found
они были все одеты в индивидуальные средства защиты подводников, ВДА-9, так называемый.
found wearing life jackets. The worst thing, however, was that all this happened at midday.
Что это
at
произошло во
lunchtime.
время приема пищи, во время шел обед. Была готовность 2 на
The
корабле.
sub was not on
Готовность
full
2.
alert.
Поэтому в первом
Most
отсеке,
likely,
может,
only one
находился
or two crew
один-два
members were doing guard duty in the
члена
first, the
экипажа.
torpedo section.
Вахтенные.
Knowing the danger they were in, the crew would have tried desperately to extinguish the fire.
Вся эта температура, все это приводит к тому, это же ведь не
The energy
атмосфера,
released in this
замкнутый
closed-off
объем.
room leads to
Вся энергия
continuously
идет на
increasing
то,
pressure.
чтобы Давление
This happened
повышалось.
slowly. It was not a
Медленно
typical
повышалось.
TNT
Это не
explosion,
тот взрыв классический тротиловый, а плавные,
but a gradual,
медленные в
slow,
течение
minute-by-minute
минут
increase
повышение
of pressure
давления
in the
в
torpedo
первом
section.
отсеке.
The men in the torpedo compartment were unable to contain the fire. It was already too late. At 10:29 a.m. on the 12th of August 2000, seismographs recorded the first explosion on board the Kursk.
The first explosion.
The Moscow-based Institute for Explosion Stability investigated the effect of the explosion. Their aim was to ascertain the extent of the damage caused by the first blast. A precisely measured gas mixture was ignited in pressurized conditions, identical to those in the burning torpedo compartment.
Это критическая нагрузка, давление. Я не хочу уточнять цифры, мы их знаем и так далее. Привело к тому, что по периметру, по границам, эта водонепроницаемая переборка выполнила роль, если хотите, поршня. Она сорвалась с места и, набирая скорость, начала двигаться по пространству второго отсека.
I mean, literally, they're saying a huge, giant section of the hull shot through one section of the sub into another section of the submarine.
The second compartment, containing the captain and most of the officers, was no longer capable of functioning. In the rear compartments of the Kursk, the seamen tried to overcome their shock and fear and carry out the emergency drill they had practiced so many times.
Я знаю, что когда происходит авария в корабле, в основном это была авария с короткой ткани, пожар, потепление воды, и когда обестачивался корабль в подводном положении, испытываешь тяжелое чувство, то есть гибель.
You're overwhelmed by some really awful feelings, death, mortal fear.
В первый момент кончено.
At first you think,
в следующую минуту уже начинаешь бороться за живучесть.
But only a minute later you start fighting for survival. You put on your life jacket.
По-боевому они одеваются, уже автоматом идет, руки делают то, что
automatically your hands start doing what's necessary and what your brain orders them to do.
The bulkheads between all compartments were sealed. The crew waited for orders. But the shattered second compartment remained silent. At 10:31 a.m., the temperature reached the critical point in the first section. Hundreds of kilograms of explosives tore open the bow of the Kursk. Water flooded into the boat with incredible force. Initially, 23 people survived. They managed to escape into the last section, the escape hatch, but they could get no further.
Девятый отсек – это небольшой отсек. Разместиться 20 подводникам с ряда по сотни 9 там. Это очень тяжело. Там должна быть бочка, как селедка в бочке. Там очень маленькая площадка перед этим люком.
Самый судьбоносный это был бы спасательный люк кормовых отсеков. Но он был деформирован не от того, что подводная лодка стукнулась о дно, а самой вот этой ударной волной, которая распространялась в водной массе.
Исследователи констатируют несколько причин.
And got $25 from D-Watt. Appreciate you. Cheers, brother. Oh, with that, let's see. This will be like my last drink I drink. Everything else will go to in 2 weeks. Because I got to pick up my roommate. Because we're watching a Russian-related video, why not drink some vodka? Hydrogen leak? Possibly. Cheers to Diwa. Cheers to all of you beautiful people. Cheers to Mo with the raid. And cheers to all of you new subscribers. Happy Saturday, everyone. Oh, damn. I remember this one being this strong. Ooh, got some kick to it.
Причин смерти.
The investigators found different
Есть люди,
causes of death
которые
in the
просто
ninth section.
захлебнулись в воде. Есть
so
люди,
terrible.
которые задохнулись
There
от
were people who
нехватки
had simply
воздуха.
drowned. Others
Есть
died
люди,
because their
которые
oxygen supply
погибли в
ran out.
девятом
Some
отсеке
died when
из-за
oxygen
взрыва
cartridges on their life jackets exploded.
определенной смеси, которая
When they came into
имеется в
contact with an
спасательных
oil mixture.
индивидуальных аппаратах. Есть люди, которые
The water that had been
фактически
heated
из-за
up by the
прорывов
blast burnt
горячей
others.
воды там чуть ли не
And there were
сварились.
people who
Есть люди,
lost
которые
consciousness as a result of the
обожженные в
pain
дыму
caused by their
потеряли
burns. These
сознание. То
different
есть
causes of death
они
made it
гибли
evident
по
that people
мере
died progressively
развития
as the disaster took
ситуации.
its course.
But many believe that the crew died because they were failed by their superiors and ultimately by their government.
Вы посмотрите, как эти подводники жили последнее время. Они не ходили в море, они не обеспечивались деньгами, они не обеспечивались спасательными средствами. И масса других недостатков. Как можно было в этих условиях готовиться к плаванию, когда корабль годами стоит возле причала и не может выйти в море? Естественно, ослабевает бдительность, ответственность. Не хочу я моряков в этом винить.
But it's not the seamen who carry the blame for this. It's the higher ranks that must be held responsible.
Some high-ranking officers have been dismissed or forced to retire, and the flawed torpedo design has been removed from all submarines.
Wow.
But Victor Baroness believes the real problem lies with the Russian military itself.
A lot has been said about the lessons to be drawn from the Kursk disaster.
Так много стоит, ну так много, как воды, наверное, в Баренцевом море. В России
Maybe
много
as much
говорят.
talking
Мы
as
не
there is
обманем
water in
себя.
the Barents
И
Sea.
Курск,
In Russia, people
это
tend to talk a
только
lot,
первый
but
сигнал
we can't delude
к тому,
ourselves.
что
The Kursk is
остановитесь,
the
не
first signal for the
обманывайте
government to stop
армию, не
cheating the army and the
обманывайте флот.
navy.
Иначе вам
Otherwise,
суждено
they will be hiring
еще
more foreign
часто
companies to come and recover the bodies of our
покупать
sailors.
иностранные компании, чтобы доставать трупы своих моряков.
This isn't me doing the volume. This is there. Maybe in a few years we'll find out what happened.
Но сейчас у меня нет такой
But my
уверенности,
confidence that we
что
will be told the whole
мы
truth has
узнаем всю
dwindled.
правду.
Спустя вот эти 2
2
года
years have
не
passed,
зря, наверное, говорят,
and
что
though it may be
время
useless
лечит.
to say time heals
Я
wounds,
немного
I've
начала
pulled myself
приходить в
together
себя,
and understand now that one
понимать,
has to live on.
что нужно дальше жить, нужно
I must raise
продолжать
my
растить
daughter and give her
ребенка,
everything that my
нужно
husband
дать
and
ей в
I would have
жизни
given her
все то,
together.
что мы могли бы дать вместе с мужем ей.
Okay, while there's no sound, I'll do this, and
That's the end of that documentary.
okay. I was gonna say after this story, I will. Oh, there's 30 minutes left. Yeah, I'll just keep going.
I mean, that's rough. That's, again, it doesn't matter your politics. It doesn't matter your nationality, your beliefs, whatever. That's 120 plus people that are never going home again, that died. And as we talk about a lot here on Maritime Monday, a huge portion of maritime disasters start with some form of corruption, some form of monetary issues, cutting corners. And that's the problem with militaries in any country. The person who builds your submarine, the person who builds your weapon, the person who builds your tank, the person who builds your missiles, the person who builds your fighter.
Yeah, Uncle Buck. Mo rated, I think, while you were still eating. Yeah.
Jets. The person who builds every piece of equipment you have on is the lowest bidder. So you're already, let's contract out to the lowest bidder. You're already handicapped from the beginning. That's why there's a huge number of military accidents in pretty much every country. They have lots of stories about accidents in the military. And Flux, former servicewoman, says amen to that. It's just a fact. And Alan, same thing. Alan from Australia. So it's not just a Russian thing. It's not an American thing. And it leads to accidents like this. I mean, I have a very close friend who was in the Navy and was involved in a submarine accident. That I'm trying to get him to talk about it, but you know, it's clearly not his favorite subject. But maybe we can get it to happen at some point in the future. But that is the Kursk accident, and just because it happened, in Russia, just not too long after the end of the Cold War, there's not a lot of documentary footage dealing with this. So it was hard to find something that gave a lot of information, but there's so many things that give more information. Like, for example, the one thing that wasn't mentioned here is that the explosion registered as a 3.5 magnitude earthquake in Norway. That's how powerful this explosion was. It triggered a Richter scale event of 3.5 in Norway.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Fedorovsky says it was very big news in the news over here in Norway. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was just talking about, just alluding to, was the Norwegian Earthquake Monitoring Organization registered this as a 3.5 earthquake. And they were talking about it being felt thousands of kilometers away. So it was a massive explosion, and it led to these deaths. And as the guy said at the beginning, maybe the ones that were standing closest to the explosion were the lucky ones at the end of the day. Well, let's put the Kursk behind us, and we got some business here to take care of. Just a map nailed to the wall. Also, you skipped a shot and you're falling behind. Oh no, I'm not that drunk yet. You can't trick me. That was the Brandon Collective's modus operandi, was to convince me to drink shot number 15 3 times that one night. Ain't gonna happen again. We got them all up to this point. All we Maps and pseudo Brandons ask for is honesty. Yeah, right back at you. You're not gonna catch me that easy. Cheers. Oh, this is so stupid. Tired Man 66, the Ohio class was in service at this time. They're larger than the Oscar class. Ohio was commissioned in 1981. That is correct. Just a map nailed to the wall. Hey, no attempted cheating with the shots, or my wife, who is a dirty, dirty trampoline, or I will just lose it. Yeah, we don't cheat with shots. In fact, like we just did here, we sort of sometimes tend to over pour a little bit, if anything. Now, guys, come on, seriously. I really, really, really do need to continue doing streams and work tomorrow. Just stop. And again, just a map nailed to the wall says, 1, I know he can drink like a 2-ton man beast. I'm only about 1.5 tons. I'm not that fat. And 2, I'm just supporting the channel. He could throw the shots over his shoulder, and I would care. I wouldn't throw the shots over my shoulder. But I think we should save these for Friday, because this doesn't go to the next bottle. I'm already just like sad that I have to down a $700 bottle of whiskey on Friday. That's going to crush me. But you're not making it any easier. All right, guys. That's the sad part of the show. And we've got about 30 minutes here, so about 25 minutes to go before I have to end this stream and send us all over to the new stream, the trial of Ortiz. My memory is starting to fail me. Juan David Ortiz, who is being prosecuted by the state of Texas for allegedly being a serial killer and murdering 4 prostitutes. Interesting thing about that case, which you're not going to want to miss, he confessed to the murders to the police, but he still pled not guilty. So I'm curious to see where they're going to go with that. But I did promise a little bit more levity, a little bit more lighthearted thing here, dealing with another Russian submarine. This was a genuine Soviet-built submarine from the Akula class, the Shark class. We're going to be talking about the Leopard, or the Gepard, K328. That's coming up right now. I've obviously talked too much, so we're going to watch another short documentary about the Kursk, but frankly, we just don't have time. But I still have one more of these damn shots to clear. Scrolling. I killed them because I bought a Pepsi. Okay, James Andrew Morris. I don't even know what that means, but I think it's still funny. Jeff could be drinking iced tea out of those bottles for all we know, but keep giving him $100. I'm loving the grift. Yeah, see, I wouldn't do that. It's honesty. It's an absolute honesty thing. That's why when I do the super grifty $100 shots, I go for as close to 40% as I can possibly get, because anything higher than that wipes me out. I don't cheat. I take my alcohol like a man. But all right, here we go. So, I heard you were getting drunk today. I hope not. Also, you have weird anime pictures as your ads. That's because I'm in Korea. YouTube clearly thinks as highly of you as we do. My grandmother turned 100 on Thursday. Wow. Congrats. She would be insanely insulted if you didn't finish the shots you owe me. Well, we're up to date here. And we are now caught up, and we will move on to the Gebhardt class submarine. Sorry, it's not a Gebhardt class submarine. It's a Akula class Gebhardt submarine. Thank you again for that super chat. Present share screen. This is a little bit of a history or an overview of the Russian submarine, or I guess back then it was the Soviet submarine Leopard. Yeah, D-What, we're caught up. I double checked just to make sure. You show me the super chat I didn't do. I've done them all. That's how I roll.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Military TV. In today's episode, we are going to take a look at 5 of the most lethal Russian submarines, along with their diverse capabilities. To gain more interesting insight, make sure you stay with us until the end of this video. The Soviet submarine program was a force to be reckoned with throughout the Cold War. The Soviet Union's undersea murderers drew the attention of both Westerners and Soviet civilians. Many Americans anticipated Soviet submarines crawling over the country's coastlines during the heated time of conflict between Washington and Moscow. Submarines are significant because they have enabled both superpowers to launch large-scale nuclear wars from the depths of the ocean. Despite a major drop in technological development following the fall of the Soviet Union, Russian leaders have increased their efforts to modernize their armed forces. From improving Cold War models to satisfy present-day challenges, to designing brand-new platforms like the Borei and Yasin-class submarines, Russia has set its eyes to enhance the status and capabilities of its underwater power. So now let us take a look at these 5 most lethal submarines by the Russian Navy. Number 1. Akula-class submarine.
This is the
Between 1986 and 1992, the Soviet Navy commissioned 7 Akula-1 models built in the Soviet Union as the Bars-class 971. Moscow had already begun work on a more comprehensive upgrade known as Project 971A, or the Akula-2. This upgrade included a 110-meter-long hull and a displacement increase to 12,770 tons. The improved design also includes a quieter engine than previous models, making the Akula-2 Russia's quietest submarine design. Russia built 3 such ships: the Viper, the Nerpa, and the Gepard.
That's the one.
While Nerpa is being leased to India, the Gepard is expected to remain in Moscow's arsenal until at least 2025.
It's actually supposed to stay in service longer than that. They've been refitting it for 10 years. It's expected to go back to sea in a refitted form in 2023, but we'll get there in a minute.
And SH, good to see ya. That looks like an orca. It's a shark class, so maybe it has a correlation, or maybe it's just coincidence. Who knows? My undergrad paper was on a German submarine that sits right here on the sunk, right here sunk in the Gulf Coast in the mouth of Mississippi, U-166. Check it out. I will. I'll write it down so I don't forget.
For the speed, the Akula can cruise up to 10 knots on the surface.
For those of you that are saying the video is loud, that's because it's a brand new video. The rest of the day is going to be good quality audio like this. So, yeah, I guess I'll turn this down a little bit, but the rest of the videos are going to be okay. I didn't turn myself down. I hate StreamYard. StreamYard thinks that it knows what to do with the audio more than I do, and it just remixes everything. So I didn't turn myself down. I turned myself up. But anywho, we'll get it worked out. I'll just shut up.
It can dive as far as 600 meters, and once deep in the water, Akula can accelerate up to 33 knots. Akula is known to have 100 days of endurance once it is deployed.
Just real quick here, this is a very quick behind-the-scenes look at what happens with StreamYard. Where are we at here? Waiting for the chat to come up. Where did it go? Splazgoaz says, adjust video volume and adjust yours to match. It's easy to do. It's really not, because the interface program between me and the YouTube live stream, which is StreamYard, they have their own internal mixing of things. So what I have pre-mixed is not what you hear, and what you're hearing is not what I hear. So that's why that's why everybody's volumes are always off. So yeah, that's it's not a thing I can control, because you don't hear what I hear and I don't hear what you hear. So it's messed up, but yeah, that's it. That's just the way we roll. That's some background information for those of you that are not in the know, and we'll get to our next Brandon here in a minute.
One Akula-class submarine could load and carry as many as 12 Granite cruise missiles, which are available in anti-ship and land attack variants. The Granite missile itself has an amazing range of 3,000 kilometers. For anti-sub and anti-ship operations, the Akula-1 is fitted with 8 torpedo launch tubes, while Akula-2 have 10. On top of that, the Strela SA-N58 portable launcher with 18 missiles provide the Akula class with robust anti-air capability. Number 2. Kilo class submarine. Russia's Project 877 Paltus, or which also known as Kilo, is a diesel-electric attack submarine that was conceived during the Soviet era at the Rubin Central Maritime Design Bureau in St. Petersburg. The Kilo, which was first commissioned by the
Peachy Peaches, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Streamer is gay to this day, yeah. YouTube is awesome in that people can team up and stream. When streamers team up, it is wild. Yeah. To Connor, I thought that Nick Cage pillow creepy. She loves the man at the first blanket, but quickly turned a big smile thing. Oh, nice.
USSR in 1982. Is still in use in Russia and around the world. The Kilo is a smaller submarine with an underwater displacement of 3,076 tons and a hull length of 70 meters in the Iranian version. 6 torpedo launch tubes are included in the basic Kilo model. This platform is suitable for systems such as the Test 71 MKE TV electric homing torpedo, which has a 205 kilogram explosive torpedo, charge. The Kilo is also capable of releasing up to 24 mines. In addition, it can be outfitted with up to 8 anti-aircraft missiles, which are suitable with both the Strela 3 and Igla surface-to-air systems. India, one of the countries who also uses the Kilo, contracted the Russian shipyard Zvezdochka to augment anti-ship missiles like the Club S to its
Again, sorry to interrupt you here. Barbara Vance has asked a question. I know we have lots of people from the UK here. Barbara Vance says, U-571 was a great movie. Any idea how realistically it is? Englishmen, Englishwomen, I'll let you tell her how realistic that film wasn't.
Models. The diesel generators of Kilo supply the submarine a speed of up to 10 knots for surface voyage and 17 knots when submerged. What's more, the Kilo could dive as far as 300 meters below the waves and has an endurance of 45 days after being deployed. Number 3. Type 636.3 Varshavyanka.
All right, well, we don't need to
when
watch
Russia's
any more
new
of this.
diesel-electric Lada submarine failed sea trials in 2010, Moscow turned to a Cold War relic, the Kilo. Russia began upgrading the earlier Kilo model to fill the niche for a modern...
The Brandon Collective is starting to get to me. Instead of shutting off the video, I almost shut down the stream. That would be funny. All right, yeah, so the U-571 movie was a complete steaming pile of crap. It had nothing to do with the Americans as it was in the movie. It was all the British. So I know pretty much every British person who's watched that movie just absolutely hated it. The Americans had nothing to do with it. Hans Knuckles says, good morning, Vices. Hope you had a good weekend. I had a great weekend, and thank you so much for that super chat. It's not Brandon Lesko. Thank you so much. That was the smallest shot you've ever poured. No, it wasn't. And in celebration of my grandmother's 100th birthday, clearly I'm incredibly insulted. As you know, I am a very, very serious person. Anyway, time for a do-over shot and another shot. Yeah, ain't gonna be no do-over shot. It's gonna be a dish shot. Thanks, and the end. Oh, see, I just about spilled that on my keyboard, but thank heavens I drank it all first. JSD's Legal Vices, the K329 is a beast sub. We're going to be talking about the Gebhardt, which is the K328. Barbara Vance, yeah, we just talked about that. Not a realistic movie. Just replace America with British and you get more realistic. And now my dog is snuffing the air for some reason. And Stephanie, welcome Stephanie, our newest member to the Clean and Sober crew. Great to have you here. Congratulations.
And Denise, I'm gonna cook dinner. Stay safe. Connor here is hoping to catch the next live without tech issues on the other side, on either side. Appreciate you, Denise. Hopefully make some good dinner. I'll probably have dinner in 3 hours before I do my Megan Fox book reading. Yeah. Melissa, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Good to see ya.
Congratulations. Everybody, give it up for Stephanie for taking the plunge and being clean and sober, which is exactly the opposite of where I am right about now. All right, two more quick videos here before we end and turn you over to the other stream that I'm getting ready to do. I felt a lot more optimistic about the next stream than I did before our Brendan Collective and Map showed up.
I don't know what I'm having for dinner. That's a very good question. I think I'll figure it out.
Now I'm not so sure. All righty. This is just a very short 1 minute 24-second video of the Gebhardt. This is Disney music? Oh hell. Oh, this is Pirates of the Caribbean. I guess we better turn it off. So here is the lovely Gebhardt. The lovely you nerds that know that was Pirates of the Caribbean music. It just sounded like some rousing kind of Soviet era Russian kind of military song. All right, yeah, now that I know it's Disney, we'll just have to shut that down for a little bit, won't we? This is the Leopard. This is the the K328 that pulled into port. That was just that very short video, and if it gets copyright claimed, we can and Chaos Coordinator. Wait.
I tried to hit the unmute button and I just raised the volume for the desktop on my end. Jeez, my ear. Melissa, and thank you for being here. And brisket sounds freaking good. Barbecue pulled chicken, quesadillas. Okay. I need some food. After this. Do you have to cook today? Salad tonight here? Hey. Gotta do what you gotta do. Burritos, nice. Yum.
Waiting for your thing. Oh, you are a member for 1 month of the Fallen Angels crew. Wow. You're one of the top tier people. The Gebhardt equals Gepard in Polish equals cheetah in English. Ha. Well, in Russian, it means leopard. So there we go. All right. Well, that was that video. And we have one final video before we talk a little bit here in the last 5 or so minutes of our show. Our last video of the day.
When Soviet Akula-class submarines were launched in the 1980s, the world was shocked to discover that they could rival their Western counterparts in quietness and survivability. To this day, these silent attack submarines still command fear in the oceans. Captain Valery Diakonov was the first commander of the Akula-class submarine that is called Leopard. He now lives in St. Petersburg next to the Raketa watch factory. He took an active part in the design and production of the Raketa watch for submariners. This exceptional 24-hour watch is made from a metal piece of his Leopard submarine.
So this was the first captain of the Leopard, and he now lives in St. Petersburg near the Raketa watch factory, and he's helped design a watch that's, because as I mentioned, the Leopard has been under retrofitting for the last 10 years, and they're using pieces of the hull to make a very limited series of watches out of the hull of the submarine, and this is the guy that helped design it.
The Leopard is currently undergoing modernization.
Мне очень дорога моя подводная лодка, как первому командиру.
As his first commander, my submarine and my crew are very dear to me.
Когда на руке
кусочек
металла, который принадлежит этой лодке, это как бы кусочек сердца, который билось в механизме подводной лодки, а теперь кусочек бьется в механизме ваших часов. Дорога она мне еще тем,
This
что
submarine is also dear to me because
она,
it didn't harm
подводная
anyone
лодка, никому не
during my
навредила.
entire
На
service
всю
as its
мою
commander.
службу командиром. Ни одного человека
We haven't lost a single
мы не
person.
потеряли. Много было интересного
Many interesting things happened during
боевых
combat
задачах,
missions.
когда выполняли
When we suddenly caught an enemy, an American submarine, and forced him out of our
совместно
waters.
с подводной лодкой, то неожиданно, значит, отловили еще и врага. То есть американскую подводную лодку обнаружили, там ее вытесняли за пределы наших вод. Подводников
Submariners need all the
все
qualities
те мужские качества, которые должны
that are
быть
essential for
присущи
any
любому
soldier
воину,
defending his country.
защищающему свое государство. Но,
They
кроме
also
того,
need group
естественно,
loyalty, mutual assistance, and the ability to get along with people.
Well, SH, good luck.
значит, умение ладить с людьми, потому что под водой ты не
Because
можешь кого-то
underwater
заменить.
you can't replace anyone.
Время моря и на суше
Time at
идет
sea and on land
по-разному,
moves
в
differently,
зависимости
depending on the
от
situation
ситуации,
and on the
от
task
тех
at hand.
задач, которые стоят, которые ты выполняешь. Оно может в море
It can
бежать,
go fast
а на
at
суше
sea, but
стоять,
still
может
on
наоборот.
land.
На суше бежать, а в море стоять.
Wait, land and stand still at sea. You can go fast on land and stand still at sea. So that
По-разному, в зависимости
is
от
the
тех задач, которые может в море.
this is a watch that was made from the hull of the K328 Leopard. There's only 300 of these watches on planet Earth. It was a very, very limited series, the Raketa Leopard 24-hour watch. Again, as I said, there's only 300 of these in the world, and I got one of them right there, babies. This is my flex for the day. This is my submarine flex. I've got one of the only 300 of these watches on planet Earth. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous timepiece made completely in Russia. It's a lovely automatic watch with a completely Russian-made movement. And yeah, this is one of my favorite watches. It's really cool to wear, and it's a hell of a cool timepiece. Because as you can see from the picture, it has a 24-hour clock on it. There's some really fascinating things.
Oh, because Uncle Buck brought it up. I don't have I need to put a music to this. Okay, I had to do a quick bio break as well, so thank you, Uncle Buck, for giving me that thing. Giving me an excuse to grab everything. So here you go. I have that watch. The same exact watch. And it's a beautiful watch, indeed. Oh. He's changing his burgundy boxers. But yeah, Uncle Buck, I do have that exact watch. Do you have a bunny with antlers on the wall? Yeah, I do got a jackalope. Yep.
On board vessels, whether submarines or boat or whatnot, crews usually work in 4-hour shifts. They're like 4 hours on, 4 hours off, 4 hours on, 4 hours off. So it has these red and gray markings for 4-hour time periods. So you can look and see whether you're on the red shift or the gray shift. It also has the 24-hour clock because AM and PM really don't mean anything on your, on a submarine. And these hands, the design of the hands here are the engine commands, the dials on the engine commands, to a replica of those. And there's so many cool things about this. It's red and white because the Leopard itself was, red and black. The top of the Leopard was black and the bottom was red. So this is just a really, really cool watch. And I figured as long as we're talking about submarines, we should talk about the Raketa, which is rocket in Russian, K328 Leopard submarine watch, which I just think is one of the damnedest coolest things ever. And I just feel really lucky to have one of the 300. Someone asked how much it was. It was like about $1,500. I love it. So that's it. That's all we had planned for Maritime Monday today. I'm so glad you could all be here. Well, most of you. Not sure if I'm glad that the Brandon Collective reared its head again and Maps brought them out of hiding. But no, seriously, I do deeply, deeply appreciate it. We've got about 3 minutes here till I dump everybody. I'm going to raid myself is what's going to happen. I'm going to send everybody over to my next stream, which hopefully will come off without a hitch. Some of you won't get forwarded for some reason. Some people just don't. Some of you are going to get dumped in there automatically. Some of you aren't. This is our last chance to like and subscribe due to this particular video. We got 570 of you currently here and only 426 likes. So in the next 2 minutes, please go over there and hit that like button. Edward M. Lockwood says, is it still at this price? No, they don't make them anymore. They only made 300 of these. Yeah, there's only 300 of them on planet Earth, and I'm just happy I got one. I worked hard. I got it. In Russia, raids you. Yeah, so please hit that like button.
Hey, Zach, how you doing? Good to see you. Long time no see, too. Maybe it's not... Did I see you yesterday? I think I saw you yesterday. Yeah, I did. Still, long time no see. God, that's awesome. You have to watch. The Lars will approve, and I'm glad that I didn't have to pay $1,500 for it.
We need to at least get up to 600 likes. We can do that. There's only 160 more to get us up to 600 likes. Boom! Wow, $4,200 now. Sweet. Thanks, Barbara. That's pretty cool. I haven't priced it.
I'm glad I had to pay that much. Wow.
I don't really plan on selling mine because there's only 300 of them on Earth. But hey, that's nice to know. Yeah. So Kyle Mitchell, yeah, you've got it right. Legal. Wait, cheetah, not leopard. Cheetah, not leopard. Well, it's leopard. It's like here in Korea, they don't have doves, so anything that flies is a pigeon, basically. Pigeon, dove, same thing. Anywho, there we go. Yeah, we watched 2 videos so I could brag about a watch. That's pretty much it. We were talking about submarines. We were talking about a submarine. And we had like some horrible stories about a submarine. So I just thought,
Mary Jane Connor, you can never sell it. Well, good thing that I am not planning on it anyway.
I thought I would just point out this cool watch that I have that came from the hull of a Russian nuclear submarine that's being retrofitted. It's all fun and games here. It's all shenanigans. All right, so guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. As always, you guys just completely rock, and I'm so happy to have you all here. I'm looking forward to this week. Now we're going to be here in a few minutes starting the trial of Juan David Ortiz, a former border agent who is accused of being a serial killer and killing 4 prostitutes. He's admitted to killing the 4 prostitutes, yet he still pleaded not guilty. So I'm at least very curious as to what the opening arguments are going to be in this case. I have no idea how that's going to go down. And so I know I'm not going to be able to stream this entire trial from start to finish every day because I just can't do that. And especially Fuck It Friday is not going to happen. I'll be well into my cups. But I'm going to stream as much of this trial as I possibly can. I think it'll be interesting. It'll be fascinating. And hopefully we can scrounge up some last minute guests. Because I wasn't even planning on streaming this trial until I woke up this morning. And I think it was Rose, one of my mods told me that this was starting today. So I'm adjusting my schedule. But as far as the normal Legal Vices streams go, tomorrow we're going to be talking about an update in the Taylor Shabusiness trial. We're going to be talking about the University of Idaho murders. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the Colorado LGBTQ bar shooter and those murders. Thursday is O.J. Simpson Day. Mark Furman is no longer on the stand, but the ghost of Mark Furman will be with us for several weeks to come. And then Friday is the legendary Fuck It Friday stream, which we are definitely not going to want to miss. Like I said, for that, so far confirmed. At the beginning of the show, we had Aussie Overlord confirmed. He's going to be doing a 24-hour stream. So we're going to be sort of sniping each other's stream for a little bit just to say hi to each other. Steph Alter Nerd is going to be there. She's awesome. Joe Neerman, Good Logic. He said, eat a dick, but by that he meant he'll be here. Farron will be here from Farron Balanced. Meme Copium said he will be here for sure. Drex said he's going to try to be here. It looks like Danny On will be able to show up. Flux is definitely in, she said, one way or another. The writer, journalist, and YouTuber extraordinaire Megan Fox will be here. She said definitely. Andy Signer from Popcorn Planet will be here as well. And who else we got? The T-Man. The T-Man from Dragon Treasure. Oh, there we go. The Dragon's Treasure Teas. I've invited him on. He's going to be here to grift some of his teas.
And well, speaking of T-Man, if you use Vice Baby, all caps, no space, on thedragonstreasure.com, you can get 10% off of your full order. I have the link in the description down below. Coffees, soaps, and other accessories available.
Yeah, they're in. Looking for here. So that's what we're looking at now. So Friday is going to be fun, and there's still a lot of invites that haven't been responded to one way or the other. So the guest list may grow. We're just going to have fun until I can no longer have fun. So, you guys are so great for being here. Mods, thank you so much for everything you do. And again, in all seriousness, Maps, Brandon, whatever we're going by today, I don't understand you, but I appreciate you. And see you Friday. Tank Rat is here somewhere looking for he's listening to us at work. So all of you that are listening to you at work while you drive, whatnot, I read the subtitles for you today, despite everyone else hating it. So fair and unbalanced is enough to keep me far away. Well, she'll be on for a bit. Come on before, come on after, whatever. Just because you see someone on the guest list doesn't mean they're going to be here the whole time. There's plenty of people for everyone. This is a no drama stream. It's just everybody hanging out, chilling with me, having a good old time. Xcomer has just gifted 5 memberships. Wow. So if you got one of the 5 memberships gifted by Xcomer right now, thank him for that. He's an awesome guy as well. Thank you so much, Xcomer. And I said, right now we're going to shut it down. Thank you for everybody that subscribed. Thank you so much for everyone that super chatted this evening. Thank you so much for everybody that's here. Thumbs up from Tank Rat. Good to see you again. And I guess that's it. what's going to happen? We're going to raid myself. Some of you are going to make it. Some of you are going to be bumped. If you want to see what this trial is all about, like I do, then, and if you don't get automatically sent over there, just go to Legal Vices. It should be up there as a live video. Click on it and you'll be able to join. So until we see you in about 30 seconds from now, y'all take care and enjoy your Legal Vices for the next 30 seconds or so. See you on the flip side. Bye.
Okay. Well, while he was doing his little outro thing, I was looking to see if I can find the value of this watch, and I can't. Farron, I think she's doing more of a news station stuff, not YouTube. Oh, she's back? Oh, never mind. Don't listen to me. But hey, perfect timing because I have to go pick up my roommate soon. But hey, I will be sending guys to sending you to Tomby if he's still alive. Let's see. Dear Tomby, are you still alive? Started an hour ago. Are you still alive? Shush. You are still alive. Awesome. Okay, so I'll close this and I'll do that, this, that. Sweet. Everything should be good. Okay. And yes, Danielle, she did get into a bad accident. But I'll send you guys to Tomby. Tonight I'll be doing another 2 chapters of Megan Fox's book, Believe Evidence. Another 2 chapters of those. And I'll call it a night. That's it for streaming today. Tomorrow, as always, TBD for streaming. Most likely not going to happen. And yeah. I'll finish Poppy Playtime someday. And probably I'll work on Tank the Shark one day as well. But thank you all for joining me on this episode of Maritime Monday Saturday watch stream thing, whatever you want to call it. Oh, Moxie, thanks for being here. Mo, thank you for rating. All the new subscribers, thanks for being here. And speaking of subscribers, please make sure you like and subscribe on your way out if you haven't already. If you did, please double check that you're still subscribed because YouTube can be asshole and unsubscribe you. Ash, D-Watt, appreciate you guys for the super chat through Cash App. Appreciate you. 80s Music Man just came in to say hey, hi, bye. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're enjoying some games. I see you're doing some shooter games now, which is interesting. Good to see ya. But hope you all have a beautiful morning, evening, night, wherever you are. Stay beautiful, stay lovely. I love you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you all the mods. Thank you for all the audience. I will see you next time. Love ya.
That's all for this stream, but it's been so sweet. Thanks for hanging with us. It's been a treat. We'll keep it warm, keep it real, take it slow. Catch you next time when the vibes are ready to flow. If you enjoyed the ride, give us a like, subscribe for the warmth. Come back whenever you like. Until then, take it easy. Don't rush, don't hurry. I'll be here waiting, no need to worry. Vice, baby, always by your side. Stay cozy, stay calm, let the good times ride. Peace for now, but we'll meet again. Take care, my friend, until then.